6 o'clock, I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: Aylesbury woman served notice on her tenancy because she's pregnant. Bedford prison officers jailed for passing on sex offender details. And Luton and Dunstable Hospital to outsource its catering.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. Bianca is due to give birth in 8 weeks but has been served notice to leave the private rented house that she shares with 8 other people and her boyfriend. The landlord doesn't allow children in the house, so they have to move out on Tuesday. Bianca has been waiting to be housed by Aylesbury Vale District Council but says the anxiety is taking its toll.
Very stressful, like constantly back and forth, ringing them again, them being on holiday, not getting back to me and everything. It is stressful. You feel urgency because obviously you're so close. You want to get things ready. We've got, obviously, where we are now, none of the furniture is ours. So we need that time to get a bed, get a sofa, get everything like that before the baby comes.
Well, Aylesbury Vale District Council say they will make temporary accommodation available to her if required, and they are exploring alternative housing options. Bedford Road is closed this morning because of a serious road traffic incident overnight. Police were called at 10 past midnight to a collision between 2 vehicles on the road also known as the old A421. Emergency services are currently in attendance. The road is closed between Brogborough and Marston Mortain. It is likely to remain closed for several hours. David Cameron is visiting Warsaw and Berlin as he rounds off his 2-day tour of European capitals to argue the case for changes to the EU. The Prime Minister is trying to win support for his plans before detailed negotiations start at a summit next month. 2 officers from Bedford Prison have been jailed after passing on details of sex offenders to other prisoners. Luton Crown Court heard that the pair, who worked at the gym, looked up details of inmates' crimes on the computer and passed on the information. Jane Killick reports.
Daniel Gorick from Flitwick, who's 36, and James Stride from Northamptonshire, who's 30, both pleaded guilty to misconduct in a public office and were jailed for 20 months. Judge Richard Foster said it was a grave dereliction of their duties. He said many inmates are violent and it's well known that sex offenders are vulnerable and could have been assaulted.
The Healthcare Workers Union claims Luton and Dunstable Hospital are taking a huge step backwards by outsourcing its catering services. It means meals they were prepared by chefs on site will now be provided by a private company and heated up. Unison say it will lead to a reduction in quality. These patients at the hospital are pleased with the current standard of food.
Very good. You couldn't fault it. Plenty of it as well.
Quite nice, and it stayed warm. It wasn't like mank, but it was good.
Believe it or not, she ate every single mouthful. Yeah. She leaves some at mine at home.
Probably wouldn't be very happy, wouldn't be as good, I wouldn't have thought, if it's had to be brought in and reheated. I've been here many years, done many operations and never had bad treatment. I wouldn't have a bad word to say about Luton and Dunstable.
And the weather forecast this morning will start off dry, but there'll be showers of rain later. The rain will turn heavy at times and will be accompanied by a strong and gusty winds. Highs of 15 Celsius, 59 in Fahrenheit. Get the latest news online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Morning, Friday. And do you know what I fancy eating? Chip shop chips with a pickled egg. We've been arguing about pickled eggs. I'm the only one here that likes a good pickled egg. Oh, I love pickled egg. Can't have too many, it makes you very gaseous. I don't know if it's the pickle or the egg. Either way, oish. Daly surprises me. He don't like a pickled egg. He liked the mushy peas. He don't like a pickled egg. We're going to be hearing a lot from Daly this morning, possibly too much. He has found a ghostly evidence. I'd love to believe in ghosts, but I believe in science. To quote They Might Be Giants, science is real. Oh, and there's loads of other bits and pieces, and all the music today is coming from records.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties.
Kelly! Good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Later on,
yes.
Can we play your Adele competition?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, mate. Look forward to it. Yeah? Thanks, mate. Cheers.
The reason why, I can say I have to let you go, and right away, after what you did, I can't stay on, and I probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. Baby, for a long time, you had me believe that your love was all mine, and that's the way it would be. But I didn't know that you were putting me on, and I probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. When you're gone. Now I've got to say that it's not like before, and I'm not gonna play your games anymore. After what you did, I can't stay on, and I probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. When you're gone, when you're gone, when you're gone.
Okay. So, I've just tweeted the picture of... I hadn't seen it in that much detail. There is... Where did we get this photo from, Catherine?
Which photo?
The photo of the Ev, the ghostly Ev.
Oh, it was in one of the local papers.
Right, OK.
But I think this has been given to us by the actual participant.
OK, so Justin Dealey, at Iain Lee, we've both tweeted the photo of a woman lying on a sofa, and there is a spectral presence nearby. So Justin's going to investigate that. I think Justin should investigate the phone of the person who took that photo to see if they've got Ghost app on there, because I'm sure I've also got that ghost in my house.
I'm sure I could also have that ghost in my house if I downloaded the appropriate software.
I'm pretty sure. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now, yesterday, we were contacted by one of our listeners, Jane, who told us her friend was heavily pregnant and facing eviction. Well, the friend's name is Bianca Stacey, 2 first names. I like it. She and her partner have been told their tenancy won't be renewed as children aren't allowed in the house they currently share with 8 other people. Here's what she told our reporter, Simon Watts.
Live in Aylesbury with my partner Jason. We need to move out of our address at the moment due to a tenancy running out and can't be renewed. We're stuck. Spoken to the council. We can't afford to private rent, so we've obviously gone to them for a little bit of help. It's taken nearly 4 months and we're getting nowhere. We've had one meeting, me giving them a load of phone calls just to be told that they'll get back to me.
They're obviously under pressure to find housing for people, but the clock is ticking for you because you're how far from giving birth now?
8 weeks, hopefully, if he hangs on that long.
It's a stressful time for you, obviously, as parents to be. You don't need that sort of hassle.
It is very stressful, like constantly back and forth, ringing them again, them being on holiday, not getting back to me and everything. It is stressful. You feel urgency because obviously you're so close. You want to get things ready. We've got, obviously, where we are now, none of the furniture is ours. So we need that time to get a bed, get a sofa, get everything like that before the baby comes. So.
And for you as well, I mean, it's not been a smooth ride to get to this point as well. The baby obviously could come any time from now, really.
I've had 3 hospital stays already. They nearly had to deliver him 4 weeks ago, so just hanging on.
And as things stand, the property that you're in at the moment, it's a private rental, but you have to be out of here by Tuesday, the 2nd of June.
Yeah.
Is that right?
There's currently 8 people here, including us 2. I do struggle here. I have big anxiety issues and I can't leave the bedroom on my own. I have to have Jason with me. So when he goes to work, then I have to make sure I've got a drink here, I've got something to eat here, because I can't go anywhere without him.
And so if there's anything that you could ask for right now, what do you want?
Even a 1-bedroom flat would be fine for now, just to get started, get a step up, anything.
And when Tuesday comes, if the council haven't found anywhere for you, what are you going to do?
Find a sofa, friend's sofa, floor, something, and then I don't know really.
What sort of videos have you got? Oh, fish fingers. That's old news. It's a great hole. I think it's just gone politically correct.
You know who my new hero is? You know the guy that I look up to? It's a guy, Kelly Bet, so it's not you.
Well, you wouldn't look up to her anyway.
Who I couldn't look up to her unless I'd fallen down a well.
And I was standing on a chair.
Yes! That's it, yes! The guy I look up to, more than any guy in the world, he's got beautiful women.
Ron Jeremy.
He's got loads of money.
Stringy.
And he's got balls the size of I'm thinking of a big thing. I've just said that. I'm not sort of aware that's going to... He's got balls the size of Luton.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the one, the only Mr. Sepp Blatter. He's a legend, isn't he? He doesn't give a stuff.
He's a chancer.
He's had it. The chance is paying a chance in a million. This morning, guys, down the rabbit hole. Welcome. Only till 7 o'clock. Then we come out and we do a proper show for the boring people. You guys are the real people that we do this for. The last 2 hours is contractual. This is what it's all about.
Hang on, some of the boring people listen again.
This morning, and we can get Daly out on this, I want to celebrate the first hour of the show. I want to celebrate the magic. Hats off to, let's all salute Sepp Blatter. Even his name is just like random letters. It's like someone got some Scrabble tiles, tossed them in the air and went, Sepp Blatter. That's what we'll call the baby. He's a legend, isn't he? Have you seen the hottie? He's with a hottie. All of his wife. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's his girlfriend. She's got red fishnets on. She's got red fishies on. That's his girlfriend. That's the coolest thing ever. Every man's dream is a brassy, chunky woman with red fishies on. And she's got them. And he's got them. This morning, guys, we are celebrating, and I want Dealey out on this because this is going to be the easiest Fox this guy's ever done. Today, we are celebrating the legend, the player, Mr. Sepp Blatter.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Brogborough on Bedford Road, that's the old A421, that's been closed in both directions between Highfield Crescent at Brogborough and Beancroft Road at Marston Mortain because of a lorry fire. In Milton Keynes, it's still looking quiet on the speed sensors, but Standing Way at the Kingston roundabout has roadwork, so expect delays there. And in High Wycombe on Easton Street, there's resurfacing work going on at the High Street, so expect delays there as well when it starts to get busier. No problems reported so far on the motorways. The M25 looks like it's moving fine. And on the trains, no reports of any problems, but on the Underground, the Victoria line has severe delays because of a problem earlier on at Brixton.
Yeah, I know you can. Sorry,
Okay.
Samantha. Catherine spoke to me. I've got my microphone's open. I know it's open.
I can hear you typing.
Yeah, I know you can. That's what she said.
too.
I know you can. I'm sending a tweet to Sepp Blatter asking him to come on the show this morning. Sammy, what would you like to? What we're going to do is we're going to record all of the tributes to Sepp Blatter. He's having a tough time, and we're going to send them to him. So, what would you like to say to Sepp Blatter?
Do you like custard?
Custard. I mean, really, what the?
Oh, I think that just the thought.
Who doesn't like custard?
Exactly.
I tell you what custard I like.
Maybe Sepp Blatter doesn't like custard.
I tell you what custard I don't like. No, hang on. Let me rephrase that. I tell you what custard I really like. I don't think you can get it anymore. I think they banned it. They banned Ice Magic, didn't they? Which was yeah, they did. They banned Ice Magic, which was the chocolate you squirted on your ice cream and it'll go hard.
No,
I bought it.
Is it called Ice Magic
now?
Yeah.
They call it Monster Crackling Chocolate.
Right.
Well, I'm sure
Ice Magic they banned because it was carcinogenic. What? Or they changed the ingredient.
Well, maybe they changed the ingredient.
They changed the ingredient. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking. That's not what we're here to talk about today, Samantha.
Yeah,
the custard that I think they.
Custard.
Sorry.
That's not custard.
No, I know it's not custard. I'm getting to the custard bit. Oh, you're so frustrating. the custard that I think they've banned, and you'll be able to tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, dear listener, because it's carcinogenic. Chocolate custard.
What?
Didn't they ban chocolate custard because it killed babies or something? You telling me my mum was lying to me then when we stopped getting chocolate custard? Sammy?
I've never had chocolate custard.
Oh, it's a dirty, dirty pleasure. Chocolate. I was told they banned chocolate custard because it killed people.
Did she also tell you that the ice cream man only plays a tune when he's run out?
Oh, Mum! Flippin' heck. Now we're late for the news for her as well. 6:18. These are your news headlines on Friday. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. And David Cameron is visiting Poland. I only want to help you, Poland, and Germany as part of his tour of Europe to argue the case for changes to the EU. Detailed negotiations are due to begin next month. He's on a jolly.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Every weekday from 3. Local stories.
People in Watford are being urged to celebrate their local heroes by creating a postcard in their honour. In other local news, rugby fans are being warned to watch out for fake World Cup tickets.
Roberto Peroni.
Now, a metal detectorist has discovered an archaeological find in a field near Royston in Hertfordshire. Taxi drivers in Luton are demanding to be allowed to drive in bus lanes at all times. There is to be a new station at the Leighton Buzzard narrow gauge railway.
Roberto Peroni.
Hear me typing.
Weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Kath, you need to get in here, otherwise it's going to be all of my records that get played. Oh! Naughty, isn't it? But fun, so much fun.
I tell him right away now, what's the matter, buddy? Ain't you heard of my school? It's number 1 in the state. Hey, take it away. Get so be true to your school. Just like you would your girl. Be true to your school. Let your colors fly. Be true to your school. I got a Letterman sweater with the letter in front. I got for football and track. I'm proud to wear it now when I cruise around the other parts of the town. I got my decal and bag. So be true to your school. Just like you would to your girl. Be true to your school. Let your colors fly. Be true to your school. Do it again. We like it. We like it. Come Friday, we'll be jacked up on the football game, and I'll be ready to fight. We're gonna smash it now. My girl will be working on her pom-poms now, and she'll be yelling tonight. So be true to your school, just like you would to your girl. Be true to your school. Let your colors fly. Be true to your school. Push it back, way back.
Blue one. Oh, no, shh. I'm seeing the Beach Boys on Sunday, Just.
I know you are, boss. Incredible.
Got the meet and greet package, 150 quid extra.
Yeah.
Can't do the meet and greet, mate, I'm working. What the... Whoa. Brother, what's that laugh for?
You know why I'm laughing? Because you got something tucked up your sleeve, so that meet and greet doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I'm hoping that might be happening Sunday. I don't know if it's definitely on, but we'll see. But the meet and greet, you get to go to a sound check, and you get to be part of a Q&A, and you get a signed, laminated backstage pass.
See, a lot of people say you're an absolute idiot for paying £150. But if you hang on, but if you're a big fan and that means a lot to you, who is anybody to say, well, that's a waste of money?
I think it's good. I think that's good money. Yeah, I think it's good money. I love the Beach Boys. Let's be, they're not going to be around forever. Let's be honest. Sorry, I'm just tweeting Sepp Blatter. Can you take that to the streets, Just?
I've already taken it to the streets.
He's a geezer, isn't he?
He is. John, a moment ago, I said to him, John, I said, Sepp Blatter, we are celebrating him today. He went, what, that idiot? I said, no, hang on a second. Look at this lady in fishies, okay? He's got loads of money, and he's just carrying on regardless. And he went, oh, yeah, see your point.
Legend. He's legend.
Him, Berlusconi, you appreciate that, do you?
Player.
He is an absolute player.
He's a legend, isn't he?
He's an absolute something.
And he just, you know what? Let's be honest. He's probably taken a few quid here and there. Who hasn't? Who wouldn't? If someone came up, what?
That's not been proven.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Probably. Probably is the word you can say, and it gets you out of. If it went to court.
No, allegedly.
Oh, blimey!
And even that doesn't work.
Anyway, let's celebrate in this hour. 08459 455 555. We're going to big up the big man. Seb. In fact, you know what? I might go home after the show today, impregnate my wife. We'll probably have another boy, because I think I've got a lot of male testosterone in me, and call it Sep.
Oh, do you know what? You are an absolute legend as well. Fair play to you. Really impressive stuff.
Thank you, mate. Thank you so much. Hospital food Catherine?
I think I might be growing.
Weary of this rubbish. Me too. So are the listeners, judging by the figures. Hospital food, Catherine, I don't know if you know, it's often ridiculed.
I've only tasted it. Well, I barely tasted it. They didn't give me a fork.
But the meals, did they not?
I had a broken arm. They gave me a plate of bacon.
You can pick that up, though.
I couldn't cut it.
You don't need to cut it. Cut it with your teeth.
Well,
it's meat, isn't it?
I shouldn't have to eat with my fingers. I'm not Henry VIII.
Although the beard and the gout would say otherwise. But the meal served up at the Luton. This is a serious story.
It is, yeah. Come on,
This
guys.
was a serious matter.
The meal served up at the... What are you in hospital for?
I broke my arm there to operate on it.
No, I didn't operate on broken arms.
They do if you've fallen off a person.
I fell down the stairs. I was let out the same day.
Why were you riding a person?
I wasn't riding them. I was standing on her.
Player!
Gymnast.
It's a funny name. That was my nickname at school. But the meals served up at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital have been rated amongst the best in the country, which is why Unison members have concerns about plans to outsource its food services so there'd be no on-site chefs anymore. Bothered? More. Justin, you've been getting the word on the wards from public land outside the hospital precinct. He knows the rules. We don't...
Yeah.
What have people been saying to you, Just?
Well, normally when you go outside a hospital and you ask about hospital food, everyone says, oh, it's disgusting, I've had food smuggled in for me, I can't bear it anymore. Not at the L&D. Everybody there absolutely loves the hospital food. Take a listen. Sylvia, you're back here for an appointment today, but you stayed here at Christmas time.
I did, yes.
What was the food like at Christmas time here at the hospital?
Very good. Very good. You couldn't fault it. Plenty of it as well.
Make me feel hungry. What sort of things were they serving up?
I'll tell you what, their salads were very nice. I'm big on salads. But yes, they had a good variety of salads. Very good.
I mean, here's the big question for me. If you went into a restaurant and that food was served up in front of you, would you be happy to pay for that food?
Yes, I would. Definitely.
Chase, you were here this week. You stayed overnight on Tuesday. How old are you again, Chase?
11.
11 years old. OK, so 11-year-olds, when it comes to food, you're normally very, very picky. How did you find the food here?
Quite nice, and it stayed warm. It wasn't like mank, but it was good.
OK, so what were you served? Can you remember?
Was it? Curry. Yeah, chicken curry, and there was ice cream and then fruit.
So seriously, you genuinely enjoyed eating that meal, a hospital meal?
Yeah, it was nice.
And your mum's here as well. That's quite rare for an 11-year-old kid to go into hospital and enjoy the food, isn't it?
I totally agree with you, yes it is, but believe it or not, she ate every single mouthful. She leaves some at mine at home, but no, she actually ate all of it.
Michael, what sort of food have they served you here?
Well, sausage and mash, fish and chips, roast beef.
Roast beef?
Roast chicken, yeah.
Well, what's your thoughts on outsourcing?
Probably wouldn't be very happy, wouldn't be as good, I wouldn't have thought, if it's had to be brought in, already cooked and reheated. Not a good idea, I wouldn't have thought.
Because it is quite unusual. Most people here, nice aftershave by the way, most people here...
Duke.
Yeah, Duke is it. Most people here haven't got a bad word to say. That's unusual when it comes to hospital food. You must agree with that, surely?
Well, it's not just the hospital food. I find that I've been here many years now. I've been coming here for the last 6 years, and I've had many operations and never had bad treatment. The nurses and everybody's been absolutely wonderful, and I wouldn't have a bad word to say about Luton and Dunstable.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
What is wrong with that man? He's the reason that the NHS is in decline.
What do you mean?
He's been there many years, had many operations. What's going on with him?
Well, he's an unwell man. He's had things that have gone wrong. He loves the hospital. And more importantly, like pretty much everyone there yesterday, they absolutely love the hospital food. If things had changed, of course, well, that food might not be as good.
I went to a hospital in London and the food was... They brought me a menu. The food... I was only there for a day to have some tests and the food was amazeballs.
But my gran, when she was in hospital in Southport, was given a menu as well, and the things that were brought as a result of her orders were nothing to do with... I mean, it said it was like beef casserole, it was beef slop.
With the greatest of respects, how old was your gran at the time?
She's 90.
So it didn't really matter, did it?
Well, yeah.
Gosh.
Old people need to eat too. In fact, maybe more important that they do.
Well, I mean, you say that, Catherine, but I mean,
also,
she's not going to remember that meal with respect. She wouldn't remember that meal in 10 years' time. If I have a good meal today, I'll remember that in 10 years' time.
Okay, Grant. Okay. I hope you're listening. Apparently you don't matter.
Just saying.
She's probably still going to be around in 10 years' time.
But she won't remember
And
that
I'll
meal.
ask her.
All right,
And
do.
she will.
All right.
And you'll be wrong.
I'll see you in 2025, and we'll get your nan in live, because we'll both still be here. Flippin' heck. Dealey?
Yeah.
Speak to you before 7.
Yeah,
I
thanks, boss.
want to celebrate Sep.
Yep.
I want to big up the Blat.
Yep.
And also, I've got a great What's the Story Morning Glory for you.
I'm looking forward to it
Speak to you in a
already.
bit. Ta-ta.
Thank you.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Brogborough on Bedford Road, that's the old A421. That's been closed in both directions between Highfield Crescent at Brogborough and Beancroft Road at Marston Mortain because of a lorry fire that happened in the night. In Bishop Stortford on the A120 Bishop Stortford bypasses, temporary traffic lights for roadworks between the M11 Junction 8 for the Birchanger services and Stansted Road, so that could cause some delays later on. And on the M25, it's starting to get busier at Junction 19 for the A41 for Watford. On the trains, there's no reports of any problems on the departure board, but if you're using the Victoria line in London on London Underground, that's got minor delays now because of a problem earlier on at Brixton. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. Bianca is due to give birth in 8 weeks but has been served notice to leave the private rented house she shares with 8 other people and her boyfriend. Bedford Road is closed this morning because of a lorry fire overnight. Police were called at 10 past midnight to a collision between 2 vehicles on the road known as the old A421. Emergency services are currently in attendance and the road will likely remain closed for several hours. David Cameron is visiting Poland and Germany as part of his tour of Europe to argue the case for changes to the EU. Detailed negotiations are due to begin next month. The Prime Minister's talks with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel are being seen as crucial if he is to achieve meaningful reforms. The Healthcare Workers Union claims Luton and Dunstable Hospital are taking a huge step backwards by outsourcing its catering services. It means meals that were prepared by chefs on site will now be provided by a private company and heated up. Unison say it will lead to a reduction in quality. And the weather, the morning will start off dry, but there'll be heavy rain later this morning. Highs today of 15 degrees Celsius. That's 59 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sepp Blatter will find out his fate today when FIFA vote for their next president. He's standing against Prince Ali bin Al Hussein of Jordan. Blatter has come under increasing pressure over the last 48 hours following the arrest of several senior FIFA officials on corruption charges. He maintains he is not responsible and has refused a request from UEFA chief Michel Platini to stand down. Our sports news correspondent Richard Conway has more.
This vote has taken on a new significance following dawn raids by police, which saw 7 FIFA officials arrested over bribery and corruption claims. FIFA is in the midst of the worst crisis in its long history, with even its president, Sepp Blatter, admitting these are unprecedented and difficult times for the governing body. His election rival is Prince Ali of Jordan, who is backed by European football associations. But Mr. Blatter will not leave FIFA without a fight and insists he cannot be held responsible for the alleged criminal actions of others.
Cricket and a series win against New Zealand would be the perfect welcome for New England coach Trevor Bayliss. That's according to captain Alistair Cook. The second test begins today. England are 1-up in the 2-test series after a 124-run victory at Lord's. Andy Murray is through to the third round of the French Open. He survived dropping a set to beat the Portuguese João Sousa 6-2, 4-6, 6-4, 6-1. But Heather Watson is out. She lost in straight sets to Sloane Stephens. Among the other second round winners are Novak Djokovic, Serena Williams and Rafael Nadal. In golf, former Open champion Pádraig Harrington leads the Irish Open by a shot on 4 under par after his opening round. However, world number 1 Rory McIlroy has a share of last place after shooting a birdie free 9 over par. BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'm back with a full bulletin at 7 o'clock.
Justin Dealey is on the hunt for ghostly evidence again. It's a slow news day. And, well, I just found Kelly, I don't know if you know this. You were at the O2 recently. Did you feel any... did you get spooked?
No.
OK, well, Justin and I went and saw Paul McCartney, and I've just been looking at the pictures again that we took of ourselves, and... Well, it looks like there's a dead boy in the photo. I mean, yeah, I've just tweeted it at Iain Lee. It looks like there's not just a dead boy, an evil dead boy.
Oh my God.
Dealey, mate, you want to have a look on Twitter? Turns out we were goosed by a ghost and we didn't realise. We did not realise. This morning we're celebrating the magic of Sepp Blatter, the world's jammiest dodgepot. You're right. You seen it? Yeah. Don't cry, mate. Don't cry. Often, laughter is fear.
Yeah.
Laughter is fear. So when we watch Mrs. Brown Boys, we're afraid. Kels, do you want to wrap the calls up for Sepp Blatter now? Just put them on. Just put them straight to air.
What, black fans?
The black fans. Black fans. Just rack them up. Let's go through them. We'll do like 3 minutes of that, then we'll do the papers. Oh, wait, where are they?
There's someone on fader 1.
Hello?
Oh, they must have gone.
OK.
Try fader 2.
Hello, fader 2.
3.
OK, we'll sort this out. We'll sort this. 08459 455 555. Big up the Blatt. If you set Blatter, it don't matter.
Apparently.
What you got in the papes?
Well, this caught my eye.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
And their children are very lucky that they've not had a similar experience.
Aye.
The mother who still breastfeeds daughter even though she's 5.
Oh, that is mess. Was that the one what you saw in the local paper? Did you tweet something? And that was a 7-year-old.
No, that was a different one, yeah.
That was a 7-year-old.
She said that it's very much like feeding a newborn. I don't think it is.
No, it's not. They're sentient.
Nature's way of telling you that you should get them off the boob is teeth.
And also, when they say, "Can I have some booby milk, please, Mummy?"
Well, I saw a woman once doing
Disgusting.
a documentary about this kind of stuff, and the
Yeah.
kids were saying, "Can we go tandem?" Now, if a kid can articulate tandem, they're too old for, you know what. For Mira Dawson, though, breastfeeding her daughter Tara 3 times a day could not be more natural, even though Tara is 5 years old and at primary school. Gosh, did she put her boob through the railings at break time? The 36-year-old stay-at-home mother is also nursing her 2-year-old son, Ray Lee. Mrs. Dawson, a former biology researcher, claims that continuing to breastfeed Tara is boosting her intelligence. And she would carry on until her daughter was 10 if she could. She even shares a bed with her 2 children so that she can give them milk before they go to sleep at night and first thing in the morning, even though it means that husband Jim, 56, has to sleep in a separate bed.
Uh-oh, Figaro, we got magic. Oh, no, that is messed up. That is messed up, isn't it?
The problem is that experts will not say that it's messed up. Experts back her approach, saying that there is no reason for her to stop passing on
There
the
is
nutritional
every
and health
reason for
benefits.
her to stop. Right, pump it off. If you want to give it to them, pump it off. Even though that's weird, it's still not quite as weird as letting them latch onto your boobie. They are 5, and there'll be some mums going, "Oh, it's Ma, you can't tell me what." Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I can. I can tell you that's weird. That's weird, and that is messed up.
Do you know what I'm uncomfortable with? The idea that the husband is sleeping in a different room while the children are sleeping either side. Apparently they never cry now. I don't think they don't get a chance. Something gets shoved in their mouth. But the thing is, she's replacing that relationship with her husband with the children. She's becoming, something different. I think it's a very dangerous game to
It's
play.
called covert abuse, guys. There's books on it. Hey, so there's pictures of the amazing moment a woman meets the man who's been given her dead brother's... What is it? Face.
Yeah.
Could have been so much worse. And there's a picture of the woman, Rebecca Avasano, touching Mr. Norris. I don't know.
His face.
His face, right? He looks a lot like Louis Theroux. He's in a very weird pose. Now, the thing is, this is the question I was asking you earlier on.
I hope
This
it's
is
not.
No, I'm going to phrase it slightly.
Differently.
I'm going to take it out of the bedroom.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to take this out of the bedroom, Kelly. You right?
Sorry, what? I'm editing Justin's audio.
It's good to have you back.
Thanks, Mum.
Mum? Supposing... She's hot, right? She is hot, and any man that met her would fall in love instantly. That's just a fact. Okay. Supposing, right, the face to one side for the moment, which I think he can do, actually. Keeps it in a box overnight. Supposing she falls in love...
No.
...with Mr. Norris... Right, they go out and they're having dinner. She's got to say, "Mr. Norris, I've got to be honest with you. I don't know what his first name is." She says, "Mr. Norris, I'll be honest." Because his face was really badly disfigured, okay? That's why he's got a dead man's face. This is really awkward, Ardo, but I've fallen in love with you.
No.
Could she?
No.
If my sister's listening, Joe, imagine I died.
Sad.
Could you fall in love with a man who's got my face?
When he says fall in love.
Fall in bed. That's what I'm asking, because it's what's on the... We're always told it's what's on the inside that counts.
No, but...
Well, this is the ultimate test.
No, if it's your brother's face on the outside, I think that's...
This is the ultimate test if that's true or not. Isn't it, though? 08459 455 555. Could you fall in love with someone who had your dead brother's face? Call me now. You've just got to ask these questions. What else you got?
You have, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, upstaging the bride.
Oh, this is funny.
Right. With this ring, I upstaged the bride's big day. It's on page 11 of the Mail.
Oh.
But I've seen it a few places. It's hard to tell whether this woman is overwhelmed by emotion or horrified at the
She's
way her
gutted.
suitor has just upstaged the bride and groom at the wedding reception. I'm suggesting she don't care. The photo of the awkward moment took the internet by storm with 1.4 million views. But while the married couple seemed to maintain composure, online commentators poured scorn on the proposer's selfish timing. So we've got people talking on Twitter used as evidence here. RG Dole wrote, "I think it's a little wrong you try and steal the spotlight. Seriously, you had 364 days to pick from."
Yeah, well, he's kneeling in front. They're obviously having
in front of the top table.
Yeah, they're in front of the top table. They're having their nosh up and the food, and he proposes to her. That is weird, isn't it? That's a weird time.
I know if you go to a wedding with someone that you're in love with, it can make you start thinking that way. But I think you hold off, don't you? You let them have their day. Surely.
I think you would have to.
A friend of mine wore a white dress to my wedding. I still remember that.
Well, I don't understand why that's such
you just don't do that.
But why? That's just silly.
That's upstaging the bride.
Well, no, it's not.
Well, you just don't. You've got all those colours to pick from. You just don't. It's tradition.
No. But
because you just don't.
No, I'm going to ask you again, Mr. Cameron. But why?
You just don't.
Okay, Miss Sturgeon.
It's a look at me colour.
But why?
You just don't.
But you're saying that. It's like talking to those Muppets from the blooming Carnival again. But why?
You just don't.
Okie dokie. Thanks very much.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Brogborough on Bedford Road, that's been closed in both directions between Highfield Crescent at Brogborough and Beancroft Road at Marston Mortain because of a lorry fire. On the M25, looking at the speed sensors, it's starting to build up between junction 19 for the A41 at Watford and 18 for the A404 at Chorleywood. It's also looking slow at junction 17 for Maple Cross. On the train departure boards, there aren't any reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 6:45, Friday, the 29th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury is worried about becoming homeless after her landlord doesn't allow children in his properties. And FIFA delegates will decide later whether to appoint the legend and the player, Sepp Blatter, to a record-breaking 5th term as president.
Take after out and put because in.
FIFA delegates will later...
No.
Hang on. OK, FIFA delegates will decide because... I don't understand what you're saying to me. What? Hang on. What? FIFA delegates...
No, the other story.
What other story?
The one about the pregnant...
All right. A pregnant woman, because Aylesbury is worried.
No.
What are you trying to say to me?
Instead of putting after in, a pregnant woman from Aylesbury is worried about becoming homeless because her landlord doesn't allow children in his properties.
That's what it says.
You said after he doesn't. Did you put that in?
I didn't say... Right, stop the clock!
Stop going a cappello.
I know, I'll put my trousers on in a minute. Kelly?
Yes.
Can you pull the news off?
Yeah.
From about... how long ago did I say that?
Just now.
A second. Someone changed it already.
Well, I didn't say after.
Yeah, you did.
Well, if I said it... Right. Get Caffrey on the line. What the hell is going on here? This is outrageous! Yeah? Oh, it is! Modified... Well, I don't know what's going on. Elizabeth!
Hello.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, no, neither do I.
It said after. It said right.
Pay attention.
Right. Let's have the Wev.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, the weather's quite complicated as well for today, but it will be a dry early start. I say dry, it'll be mostly dry really, because we've got a few showers around just in front of the actual weather front, which is currently out to the west. So many places staying dry through the early morning rush hour, perhaps just a few showers. The heaviest of that rain is going to push in through the course of the late morning and the first part of the afternoon, so turning very wet and also very windy as well as that weather front clears into the afternoon. So expect some strong gusts of wind along with lots of heavy rain, not very nice for a short while through the middle part of the day, but then through the late afternoon things are going to dry out. It'll brighten up. Watch out for a few showers which may follow on from the weather front, but there's also some good spells of sunshine a bit later on through the day as well. Top temperatures up to 15 or 16 Celsius in the best of that sunshine. There will be a few showers around, so watch out for those. Now for this evening and the overnight period, it's going to be dry and we'll see overnight lows of around 7 or 8 degrees, so a little bit chilly tonight. And then into tomorrow, the better looking day of the weekend. If you've got plans outdoors, make sure that they are for tomorrow, because Sunday is going to turn very wet and windy, particularly through the morning. Some brightness I think a bit later on through Sunday afternoon, and then staying quite unsettled on Monday and on Tuesday as well. Quite windy with some heavy showers at times. Things will settle down once more by the time we get to Wednesday of next week. That's the forecast.
Did I ever take you in my arms, look you in the eye, tell you that I do? Did I ever open up my heart and let you look inside? If I never did it, I was only waiting for a better moment that didn't come. There never could be a better moment than this one. ocean, a god is riding upon his back. How come the water and bright the rainbow fade this one to black? Did I ever touch you on the cheek, say that you were mine, thank you for the smile? Did I ever knock upon your door, try to get inside? If I never did it, I was only waiting for a better moment that didn't come. There never could be a better moment than this one. This one, this one is gliding above the ocean. A god is riding upon his back. How come the water and bright the rainbow fade this one to black? What opportunities did we allow to flow by, feeling like the timing wasn't quite right? What kind of magic might have worked if we'd stayed calm? Couldn't I have given you a better life? Did you ever take me in your arms, look me in the eye, and tell me that you do? Did I ever open up my heart, let you look inside? If I never did it, I was only waiting for a better moment that didn't come. There never could be a better moment than this one. This one, this one is gliding above the ocean. A god is riding upon his back.
Late 80s McCartney at his very, very best.
Fade this one to black.
Rob, for years, thought that song was called The Swan. Thank you, Rob. Didn't play this, did he, Dealey?
He didn't know.
Didn't play Spies. I was waiting for Spies Like Us. Maybe he did that in the encore.
Possibly.
Maybe he came out and did it in the encore.
And no frog chorus.
No frog. Well, I've got the frog chorus here on single, right? Because I nicked it from downstairs. The B-side to the frog chorus. Oh, where is it? Hang on a second. There's an interesting B-side to the frog chorus, Justin. Hang on a second.
That was one of the first singles I ever bought.
The frog chorus?
Yeah.
You and loads of other kids. It was a massive hit, and everyone sneers at it now. We played it about a year ago on the show, and actually, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And everyone sneers at it. The frog. Okay, you try writing a song that sells, I don't know, 10 million copies around the world. You try to go on. You do it.
I used to love that video.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic.
Listen to. Right, hang on a second.
Bom bom bom.
Aye aye.
Bom bom bom.
Have you ever heard it?
Yes.
Right, so the B-side of the frog chorus is We All Stand Together.
Oh, do you know
the
what?
humming version.
Yes.
The humming version.
Oh, the memories.
Hang on, let's get some humming memories. Be with you in a second, very special guest. This is already the favourite thing I've ever heard in my life. Oi! This is what the old days sounded like.
Did up north.
Yeah. Oi! It's very magical, isn't it? It's a bit boring as well. We've got a special guest on line one. Good morning. We'll have it playing underneath. Good morning, line one.
Good morning.
Who is this?
This is Dennis, who's 90 years old, and you owe Catherine 10 quid.
So what? So I can't hear you, Dennis.
I'll bet you can, because I haven't said money.
Well, hang on a second. What's going on here?
You bet me that I wouldn't make 90. Yeah, you didn't bet me. You bet your lady there.
Okay, your phone line is worse than normal.
He's 90, put some slack.
Okay, well. If you could call back on a decent phone line, Dennis, we could discuss this.
A decent phone line?
Thanks very much for calling. Oh. There's just too much echo on the line. You saw me riding the faders there. You saw me riding the faders. Too much echo on the line. I know he's 90, but I'd need to see evidence to back that up. Justin?
Yeah.
Oh, should we... Hang on a second. Before we do your package, let's... hang on a second.
A bit emotional now.
I know. Hang on.
Oh, 5 years old. Got my first Luton Town kit.
You carry on, Justin.
Oh, just amazing. Just reminds me of having Bangers and Mash for the first time, thinking, wow, what is this? First record player. Oh, sorry, mate, you're really messing with my mind this morning.
You okay, Just?
Yeah,
Back in the room,
fine.
back
Just
in the room.
hanging in there.
We've got time for one of these. It's a good one. Clean and pure filth. Clean and pure filth. No, hang on a minute, I got that wrong. Hang on. Clean, add, pure filth. Clean, add, pure filth. Justin.
I'm going to go with, for this one, and it could be scientific, I'm going to go with a new range of underpants for men, which is coming out.
Have you got that from Clean Add Pure Filth?
Well, because they could be clean and you're adding something, but that something can be carried away in maybe a bag or something.
OK, you're miles off the mark. Kelly Betts, Clean Add Pure Filth. Adele, Clean Add Pure Filth.
It's good to have you back.
Thanks.
So it's an advert for like a cleaning product, but it actually...
You don't try too hard.
It actually just makes your clothes smell really bad.
Catherine, Clean Add Pure Filth. It's a good one, this. It's a good one.
Is it something to do... And this is not the way I'd refer to the police, but some people do.
OK, interesting. Yeah, I like your style.
Is it something to do with the filth, the fuzz?
An OAP has left a series of cheeky adverts in newsagents' windows seeking a naked cleaner.
Oh.
The 69-year-old wants a compassionate woman to clean his home for £20 an hour.
When he talks about his home, does he mean...
Prostitutes, under 25s, and those with plastic surgery need not apply.
Oh, he's picky.
Say the ads in South Gloucestershire. The man who wants to be anonymous added, "There's no touching or extras. It's about fantasy and hygiene." Anyone interested? Let's get up to Gloucester.
Oh,
Justin.
Wow. Yes.
That. It's all about players this morning, isn't it? It really
It's the
is.
Players edition.
It's the Player Special. John Player Special today. That gentleman there, legend.
Yep.
Sepp Blatter, legend.
Absolutely.
He doesn't give a stuff. All the muck that's swirling. Any sane man would go, do you know what? I'm the president of FIFA. We look awful. I'm going to step down, guys. He's doing the opposite. He's having an election today.
There's been a reason why he's been in charge for 16 years.
Yes. Everyone's going, right, maybe you should step down, Seth. He's going, no. He had a big do last night.
Yep.
He's going, I'm coming back for more, guys. You've got to respect that.
He just carries on with a big smile on his face as if to say, hey, guys, come on, what's the issue here? Come on. I'm the main man. Brilliant.
You've taken this to the streets, haven't you?
Yeah, do you know what? Today we have been celebrating the magic of Mr. Blatter, and I have to say that most people I spoke to this morning refused to talk about this.
Mate.
And I said, what do you mean you're refusing? Oh, I hate the man. This was the only person who agreed to talk. Take a listen. Paul, today we are celebrating Sepp Blatter. We're bigging him up. What an absolute legend.
Of what?
Well, legend in his own underpants.
Well, that you can say, yeah.
Good-looking girlfriend, I mean, lots of money, just carries on as if nothing's happened. What a guy.
Where did the money come from?
But what a guy.
Well, I'm sorry, I've got no time for him whatsoever.
So you don't go home and think to yourself, one day I'd like to be like him?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
Why not?
Come on, he's got it all.
He's just cheating the football fans, isn't he?
Well, but in reality, look at his life. Come on, we should be celebrating this man.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I can't. It just does nothing for me whatsoever.
You don't like his suits?
I don't like his suits. I don't like his attitude. I just don't like anything about him to do. I don't think he's any good for football whatsoever.
Do you think he's a player?
No.
Do you think he's a chancer?
Very much so.
Do you think he's a geezer?
I'm doubtful.
OK, let's leave it there. Thanks, boss.
Oh, no problem.
Justin, tough work. I
Yeah,
thought
it
that would
was.
have been the easiest Vox you'd ever had to do.
No, people hate him on the streets.
Did you not find
Stetson?
No, I've not seen Sadiq for about 3 weeks. I think he's now
Sadiq.
avoiding me.
Sadiq, I hope you're well.
Good morning, sir.
Justin, it's Dennis's 90th birthday.
Fantastic.
Take it to the streets.
Yes.
Ta-ta.
Take care.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Brogborough on the Bedford Road, the old A421, that's been closed between Highfield Crescent and Beancroft Road in both directions because of an accident. So that's between Brogborough and Marston Mortain. In Borehamwood on the A1 southbound, there are queues building up from the Holiday Inn towards Barnet Lane at the Stirling Corner. Looking at the speed sensors, and in Buckingham on the A421, that's building up on both directions on the approach to the A413. And on the motorways on the M25, it's busy anti-clockwise now from junction 17 for Maple Cross to 15 for the M4. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Shh, don't mention Sepp Blatter again. Well, we can mention him, but don't mention we're climbing out of the rabbit hole, guys. Still to come, outside the rabbit hole, Dealey's got ghostly Ev. Oh, and I don't know, other bits and bits. We'll make it up as we go along. It'll be fine.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: Aylesbury woman served notice on her tenancy because she's pregnant. Bedford prison officers jailed for passing on sex offender details to other inmates. And L&D Hospital to outsource its catering.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. Bianca is due to give birth in 8 weeks but has been served notice to leave the private rented house that she shares with her boyfriend and 8 other people. The landlord doesn't allow children in the house, so they have to move out on Tuesday. Bianca has been waiting to be housed by Aylesbury Vale District Council but says the anxiety is taking its toll.
Very stressful, constantly back and forth, ringing them again, them being on holiday, not getting back to me and everything. It is stressful. You feel urgency because obviously you're so close. You want to get things ready. We've got, obviously, where we are now, none of the furniture is ours. So we need that time to get a bed, get a sofa, get everything like that before the baby comes.
Aylesbury Vale District Council say they will make temporary accommodation available to her if required, and they are exploring alternative housing options. David Cameron is visiting Warsaw and Berlin as he rounds off his 2-day tour of European capitals to argue the case for changes to the European Union. The Prime Minister is trying to win support for his plans before detailed negotiations start at a summit next month. Bedford Road is closed this morning because of a lorry fire overnight. Police were called at 10 past midnight to a collision between 2 vehicles on the road known as the old A421. Emergency services are currently in attendance and the road will likely remain closed for several hours. The government is publishing its plans to outlaw psychoactive drugs, substances designed to mimic the effects of banned drugs. Many so-called legal highs are freely sold in ordinary shops and online. Past moves to ban the drugs have been frustrated by chemists who have changed what's in them to evade the law. The Policing Minister and MP for Hemel Hempstead, Mike Penning, says the ban here has been modelled on the approach adopted overseas.
We've worked very closely with other countries to see how it's worked for them. So in the Republic of Ireland in 2010, they did the blanket ban. It is absolutely decimated, thank goodness, these sorts of products that young people were taking, the sale of them and the producing them. And so we can pick up the good things from their legislation and take it forward.
2 officers from Bedford Prison have been jailed after passing on details of sex offenders to other prisoners. Luton Crown Court heard that the pair who worked at the gym looked up details of inmates' crimes on the computer and passed on the information. More from Jane Killick.
Daniel Gorick from Flitwick, who's 36, and James Stride from Northamptonshire, who's 30, both pleaded guilty to misconduct in a public office and were jailed for 20 months. Judge Richard Foster said it was a grave dereliction of their duties. He said many inmates are violent and it's well known that sex offenders are vulnerable and could have been assaulted.
The Healthcare Workers Union claims Luton and Dunstable Hospital are taking a huge step backwards by outsourcing its catering services. It means meals that were prepared by chefs on site will now be provided by a private company and heated up. Unison say it will lead to a reduction in quality. And the weather, the morning will start off dry, but there'll be showers of rain later. The rain will turn heavy at times and will be accompanied by strong and gusty winds. Highs of 15 degrees Celsius, 59 in Fahrenheit. BBC Three Counties Radio News. I'm back with headlines and a full sports bulletin at 7:30.
Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Kelly and Catherine are here. Justin's out there. I mean, he's literally out there, man. Ghosts, 90-year-olds, houses, hospitals. It's all happening on the inside, baby. If you want to take part, you know the rules, don't you? You know the rules. Shall I remind you of the rules? We throw this stuff out there to talk about, but unlike pretty much every other show on the radio, you can call in about anything. You can call in about anything, anytime. That's how it works here. Odds are you'll probably get on. The phone number 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC
Do you want to
Radio.
Do you want to hear me catch out my producer and good friend Catherine Boyle? Texas.
I've got him.
Whoa!
Hey, in your face.
Well done, mate.
We've had a nice text through from Tony.
We've had a nice text. I do not believe it.
No, we have from Tony.
Morning, Tony.
Talking about bad spelling. He sent us a picture. I'm going to tweet it in a minute.
Yeah.
He said, spotted this sign in Addington Way, Luton, outside a Bupa care home.
Oh, this is after the square, the
Yeah.
Bedford Square. Are those signs still up in Bedford Square?
I think so. If you're in Houghton Regis, could you...
Could you have a little look? The Bedford Square flags where they've spelt square incorrectly. If you remember, we asked Kelly Betts how to spell square. She didn't have a clue. Kelly, spell square!
SCU. What? Oh my God!
So it's not as easy as it would seem. If those flags are still there, then do let us know. 08459 455
They should
555.
just take them down.
They should. They're an embarrassment. They're an embarrassment. Take them down. Take you half an hour to get them down. Anyway, sorry, Tony's texted in.
Yeah, no parking, spelt Parcking. I mean, wow.
Do you know what? This is the kind of thing years ago I'd gone, oh, who cares? Actually, I think it's important. You've got to spell these things properly. Look, Catherine's writing a pronunciation.
Canal.
That's how I would have said it.
No, you might have said canal. I know what you're like.
Canal. That's how I will say Vicky's name when she comes on.
Well, I'm just trying to avoid what
And
could be an embarrassing moment for you.
Wouldn't be embarrassing for me.
Well, it might.
It will be embarrassing for you, but I can say her name. It's not a difficult name.
Say it then.
Canal.
No.
Who is this Vicky we're talking about? Let's bring her into the conversation. This morning we've been talking about a young couple from Aylesbury who've been told to find somewhere else to live because they're having a baby. No children are allowed in the house that Bianca Stacey and her partner currently share with 8 other people. And the district council don't seem to be in any hurry to find an alternative. Well, we're joined by Bianca's friend, the now famous Vicky Cannell, who's on the line. Morning, Vicky.
Morning.
We like to get people's names right here, and Catherine is right to give me a pronunciation because I'm always getting people's names wrong here. You're Bianca's friend. How long have Bianca and Jason been living in this place?
Since November last year.
Okay, and they're sharing with 8 other people?
Yeah.
How is that working? Is it? It's been such a long time since I've shared a house. How does that work? They've got their own room and communal kitchen and things.
Yeah, basically they have a bed set and they share the kitchen, the lounge area, the bathroom, all the cleaning facilities as well.
Okay, and how's it going for them? Generally, up until now, up until the pregnancy, how's it going for them?
It's okay for them to live there. I would say it's not suitable for a child to be in that property anyway. There's some slightly undesirable people in there.
All right. So, yeah, there are people there that perhaps, if you're grown up and you're okay, but you wouldn't want your kids growing up around them.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay. The no kids rule. Does that come from the landlord?
Yes, it was. I think it was in the tenancy originally, but when Bianca moved in there, she didn't actually know she was pregnant.
Ah, okay.
So it wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
when they moved in. Until then, she obviously discovered she was pregnant.
Which is, I'm assuming, is brilliant news in one respect.
Yes, it's good news in one respect, but then it leaves her in the situation she's in now, which doesn't help anybody.
Okay, so the landlord hasn't done anything wrong. That was made clear that kids weren't allowed.
Yes, that was in the tenancy.
And I guess you could kind of understand that if it's a house with 8-10 people in, however many it is, if suddenly a baby or a child is brought into it, it could be hard work for everyone else, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think it's, the possibility that if that child's crying at night, it keep other people up. And
that ain't a possibility, Vicky. That is a definite. I don't know if you've got kids. That's a definite.
No, I don't.
And it is, I have. And it is a definite. And it would be noisy. And, you know, however much you love your kids, if you're in the room next door or downstairs, it can be frustrating. So I can kind of understand that. But it leaves the couple in a pretty awkward situation. When's the baby due?
8 weeks.
Oh, blimey, not long to go, is there? And she's well and healthy and everything's going all right, is it?
Bianca has a heart condition, and she also has been diagnosed with anxiety.
Okay.
Which, the knock-on effect of the two, obviously, put the baby at risk.
Yeah, of course. Well, they'll be monitoring that in the hospital, you know, and with 8 weeks to go, they'll be keeping a tip-top eye on her blood pressure and her heart and all of that. So I'm sure, fingers crossed, I'm sure it's going to be wonderful and safe. Where's she at now? She obviously can't stay there. When has she got to get out of the house, and what are the possibilities of her finding somewhere else?
She's got to get out next Tuesday.
Oh, blimey.
Since she found out she was pregnant, they've been looking for alternative accommodation.
Yep.
Private rental, obviously have approached the council. Private rental market, that's totally out of their financial abilities.
Yeah.
Both her and her partner worked in retail, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people in retail say that it doesn't pay a great deal. And, you know, you've lost one income because one of you's got to have the baby and not be able to work. So it's only one lot of income coming in. Can't find private rental anywhere that will accept them. So that sort of left that as you've got no alternative.
And unfortunately, it's unaffordable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So they've gone to the council. What have the council said?
They lost their application twice.
Hey, nice one. Thanks, guys. Brilliant.
That's delayed that. I think she's had one meeting with them in February.
Yeah.
They've tried to send her to a debt, counselling service. However, she's got no debt, so I don't know how...
Well, I suppose that's to kind of help her manage her money, but probably not really what she needs at the moment, is it?
No, she needs a home.
Yeah.
Managing the money and paying the bills, yes, all right, well, that doesn't come until you've actually got somewhere where you can pay the bills for.
What are the council saying? Because obviously she's got to be out by Tuesday. She's got 2 months to go before she delivers. What are they saying? They must realise this is quite an urgent situation.
They basically have told her, I actually found something slightly different out the other day, but the council have told her she's got to, once she's had the baby, spend a night on the street before they even put her in emergency accommodation.
Okay. Oh, blimey. That don't sound great, does it?
It's not what it says in their statement either.
Well,
is
we've got the statement. Yeah, Catherine, you've got the statement. It's massive.
It's really long.
Can you pick some of the key moments? This is the statement from Aylesbury Council, the
Okay.
council involved.
The couple first contacted the Housing Department late March 2015 when they applied to join the Housing Register. Bucks Home Choice, and their application was processed a short while later. Miss Stacey has submitted additional medical information to support a higher priority, and we've requested further advice from our medical advisor. We're aware that she's pregnant. We understand the landlord has served notice. We have explained to Miss Stacey that a notice is only the first step in the possession process, and she can legally remain in the accommodation until the landlord obtains a possession order from the court. So they're encouraging her to stay there past Tuesday, by the sounds of things.
They do that, councils, don't they? Stay there because you can't get booted out by the landlord.
Which is why a lot of private landlords don't want to give...
Which is unfair on the landlord, you know.
They don't want to give their properties over to council tenants. Nevertheless, the council will make temporary accommodation available from their 2nd of June if required. So it looks like they'll house her from Tuesday.
Yeah, what's that that, Vicky? Because it says here, maybe that's not been made clear to them. It said here that the council will make temporary accommodation available from the 2nd of June if required. That would imply to me hotels or B&Bs. Not ideal.
No, they've not said anything to Bianca.
Have they not said that?
That's extraordinary.
No, she had a phone conversation literally before your reporter went round and saw her yesterday.
Right.
And the woman said to her, you've got a meeting on Thursday. And Bianca obviously said, well, I'm being chucked out on Tuesday. And she said, well, you're just going to have to stay there.
Right.
Well, this is interesting because they've put this at the end of the statement.
There are
that
two
they're really
key
helping
things
out.
here, Vicky, and what we'll do is we'll send you this statement and we'll send you who we got it from, if we have a name. It may have been a nameless bod. There are two key things right at the end of this statement that I think are interesting. It says, nevertheless, the council will make temporary accommodation available from the 2nd of June if required. So that would be a B&B in a hotel. Not ideal, but better than sleeping on the streets.
Yeah.
Or sleeping on a mate's sofa. She mentions the debt assessment booked in on the Thursday. We've also already agreed that we will provide an advanced rental payment if Miss Stacey and Mr Bond are able to secure privately rented accommodation themselves.
That's fine, but a lot of privately rented accommodation won't accept people that are on benefits.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's what makes it tricky. All right, listen, Vicky, I'm going to pass you back to Catherine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if they've not been told about the temporary accommodation from the 2nd of June, which is the date they get booted out, well, then they should be.
Yeah.
And
No,
we need to hold the council to that.
The other point that they neglected to actually make to you is the fact that if she stays in that accommodation and she gets taken to court by the landlord,
yeah,
obviously the landlord will be in his rights and actually will be taken as, she should have been evicted.
Yeah.
But Bianca will then have to pay all the court fees.
It's so weird because
she will get a CCJ.
I've heard this so many times that the council are saying to people that are getting booted out of their property, stay there. Stay there. And that's partly because the council don't have enough places to house people. And Vicky, listen, I'm going to pass you back to Catherine.
There was one more thing I wanted to raise.
Oh, yeah.
Vicky, I spoke to Jane yesterday, another friend. She's the one that brought this to us. And she suggested that Bianca had been told that if she's still homeless by the time she has the baby, she should stay in hospital. Is that what the council said to her?
Yes, I actually phoned up social services because nobody has been giving her any information, basically.
Let's try and unpick this then.
Right. Okay, I'm going to listen. But Vicky, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed. She's lucky to have a good friend like you. We'll isn't it confusing? Hey, do you remember when everyone laughed at Ed Miliband saying that he wanted to impose rent caps? He was going to impose rent caps on properties, and everyone went, "Oh, you horrible lefty socialist!" Really?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1, it's blocked northbound between junctions 13 for Bedford and 14 for Milton Keynes because of a 2-lorry accident. In Brogborough on Bedford Road, that's the old A421. That's been closed between Highfield Crescent at Brogborough and Beancroft Road at Marston Moortain because of a lorry fire. And in Aylesbury on Buckingham Road, the traffic lights aren't working at Weedon Road, so that could cause some delays as it starts to get busier. In Borehamwood on the A1, that's looking slow southbound from the Holiday Inn towards the Stirling Corner. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Samantha. 7:17, Friday, the 29th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. And the government is publishing its plans to outlaw psychoactive drugs, substances designed to mimic the effects of banned drugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan.
It worked perfectly for 2.5, 3 years till 2 days ago.
He should refund me £1,900.
Which is where we come in.
We managed to get them to agree to come back in to the property on an agreed date.
The JVS show takes on your consumer problems.
I basically lost the whole lot in administration charges.
And helps to get to the right solution.
I've received a cheque back for £578.
Jonathan, I can't thank you enough. I don't know how you do what you do, you and your team.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We've been saluting Sepp. We've been bigging up the Blatter. He's a player. Well, Sepp Blatter. Sorry,
I haven't.
Well, you have, mate.
No, I haven't.
We have. We're all. You have.
I listen to tape, mate.
Yeah, you have.
He's no mate of mine. If you love him so much, why don't you marry him? It's probably your turn.
I would love to. Oh, mate, come on. You do like him, don't you?
It's people.
Yes.
Let's talk to each other.
Exactly.
There's no more fanning.
Well, there's plenty. Sepp's on the line. Morning, Sepp.
Hello, Mr. Lee.
Hello, Sepp Blatter, sir. How are you this morning?
I'm very well, and I thank you very much for praising me on the radio. Everybody else seems to hate me, but it's nice to see somebody that actually respects me.
You're having a tough time at the moment, Sepp. It's on the front page of The Sun. Give me his head on a blatter. Everyone's out, gunning for you at the moment. How does that feel?
Well, you'd think they could come up with something more clever than that, something that didn't rhyme. I don't know why they all hate me. I try and cater for everybody.
Yeah. But you are a bit of a player, Sepp. You've got some beautiful women in your life. You're 84 years old. How do you do it? What's the Blatter magic?
It's just for personality and good looks.
Well,
it's got nothing to do with the money. Nothing.
Yes, a bit touch of the old Blarney Stone, huh?
No, well, it is. It's just charm and sophistication, and I read them a bit of poetry.
Poetry?
Yes, I like to go for poetry.
What kind of poetry would you read to a younger woman, Sepp, to get her into your changing room?
Should I compare thee to a summer's day?
Huh?
There art far more wondrous, and you can come and sleep with me if you wear some fishnet stockings. That sort of stuff.
Okay, the romantic stuff.
Yes, the romantic stuff.
Well, Sepp, listen, you've got your election today. I'm supposed to be impartial at the BBC, but thumbs up. Good luck, mate.
Well,
do you reckon you'll win it? Can you pull it off?
I'm certain that I'm not much interested in football, but I think I'll win it. Yes, I think you'll win it.
Sorry?
I'm not much interested in football like you.
No.
But I can make loads of money, and lots of rich people can get richer.
Well, Sepp, I wish you... We all here at BBC Three Counties Radio...
No, not me.
We all here at BBC Three Counties Radio think you're a player.
No, yeah.
And we've got a slogan for you. If you're Sepp Blatter, it doesn't matter.
Especially if you're Irish.
Yes. Well, and we all wish you the very, very best of luck.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Sepp.
Don't thank me. People.
Thank you, Sepp. Take care.
Thank you.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What a nice bloke.
He's a poet.
And he didn't know it. He never realised. Kath, tell us a story about Stuart Blair.
We all got done for throwing a rubber down Stuart Blair's euphonium.
Yeah, OK. And you want to judge Sepp Blatter, and that's the kind of abuse you got up to.
I'm best placed to do that.
Unbelievable.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC
Now,
Radio.
Luton and Dunstable Hospital, the food there, well, surprisingly, everyone raves about it. You may have heard Justin speaking to some people earlier on. Everyone's saying, well, the food there is fantastic. That might change because despite meals being rated amongst the best in the country, in hospitals, obviously, Unison is warning that plans to outsource catering there will lead to a drop in standards. Well, Cheryl Godber from Unison joins me now. Morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, Iain.
So what are these plans and where are we at with them?
OK, what the Trust is proposing to do as a package of privatising free lots of staff, catering being one of those lots of staff and services, is to move away from the freshly prepared cooked food to a system known as cooked chill. What that actually means is that food will be cooked elsewhere, probably many, many miles away, chilled and then shipped into the hospital to be preheated and then served up to the patients.
And what's your problem with that?
Well, we believe it's extremely short-sighted. They've already got an excellent catering service, and we believe to move away from freshly prepared food could be detrimental to patients' health and recovery. it's also a very inflexible way of providing food, as the kitchens and staff, if this goes ahead, will have little say over future menu choices.
I suppose, I would imagine, Cheryl, that this is all down to money, isn't it? And that this new way is going to be significantly cheaper. Do we have any figures on how much money they'll save?
Well, we did some cost analysis on the business case that we were presented with last year, and our view is that it's more costly to provide what they want to provide in the future than what they currently provide. I mean, let's just think.
Why would they do something that's more expensive?
That's a very, very good question, and it is a question that we are asking of the trust.
Well, how much more is it going to cost to bring in this food than have it cooked on site?
I don't have the figures in front of me, but if you think about...
It's odd, because you knew you were going to talk about it, and you knew that question would probably come up.
The analysis that we've done in terms... Because you've got to remember, this isn't just about catering, it's about two other services that they want to outsource as well.
How much more is the catering going to cost to bring in the food rather than cook it on site? Because I don't believe it will cost more.
We've not been provided with those figures.
Oh, sorry, you just said you had, Cheryl.
Figures. We've done analysis on the figures that we had last year. They've now changed the proposals.
So slightly misleading to say...
group of staff.
Right. Slightly misleading to say it's going to be more expensive, isn't it? It's going to be cheaper, isn't it?
No, I don't believe it is going to be cheaper. And the campaign for Better for Hospital Food, who have done extensive research on this kind of stuff within other hospitals, absolutely categorically say it's more expensive to go down the cook-chill process than to provide fresh food on site.
It's more expensive to mass-produce food and have it shipped in than it is to cook it fresh on site.
That's what the research has shown.
I don't believe that. Why would they? I don't understand why they would do that.
Well, neither do we, and that's why we're asking the questions. That's why we, along with other trade union colleagues...
Have you asked the question how much more it's going to cost? Have you asked the question how much more it's going to cost?
It's one of the questions that we want to ask of the trust. At the moment, we do not have a proper, freshly prepared business case that involves another group of staff other than just catering.
Because I agree with you that, of course, there are health benefits for eating fresh food, and you know that's been proven, but... I don't, Cheryl, with the greatest respect, I don't believe it's going to... And I think maybe you didn't understand the question, but the first answer was slightly misleading. I don't believe it's going to cost more to bring in chilled food. It's kind of, I thought, pretty well established that doing that was cheaper.
Well, we need to see the facts and figures, and that, Ian, is not what we've got at the moment.
So you're just guessing.
We've got no justifiable business case to go down this route for this group of staff and the other two groups of staff.
Have you asked for one?
In this outsourcing, we have asked for the business case. We have been consistently asking for the business case.
Right.
It has not been produced.
So where are you getting because this is a key factor, and I'm sorry to press it, because I kind of agree with you in principle, but this is a key factor. Where have you got the idea that it's going to cost more money to mass produce food and then bring it in than it is with the cooking fresh food on site?
At the moment, the trust does cook the food fresh on site. If they move to cook chill, again, we don't have the figures to...
So you saying it's more expensive is just you guessing?
We believe that it is more expensive and detrimental to the health and well-being of patients.
Where's your evidence for the expense?
Should this go down this route? That is the question that we're asking him.
Cheryl, with the greatest, and I'm kind of on your side, although you won't come away thinking this. I do think that fresh food cooked in a hospital is brilliant. It's been proven to have health effects, but you can't say, Cheryl, it's more expensive, and then as the questioning goes on, you haven't got a clue if it's more expensive or not. You're just saying that's what we think. Well, you don't know. So to say that's misleading, it's going to be cheaper, isn't it?
I don't.
You don't know. I know. So don't say it's going to be more expensive. This is why you
got the figures.
I know. Oh, this is why unions get a bad rep, because you come on and say stuff, but then when it's questioned, you can't back it up with the ev.
Well, that's why we're asking the trust for the business case. Until we've got the business case, there is no justification for them going down this route.
Okay. Will people lose their jobs?
Well, again, I mean, bringing in private companies through bitter experience has shown that services are cut, which inevitably means that that jobs are cut as well.
OK. Listen, Cheryl, I know you're going to go away feeling frustrated. Please don't, because, I'm impartial, but I'm kind of on the side of healthy food in hospitals. I genuinely think it's brilliant. But, listen, get the figures, and if you can come back with evidence that this actual plan at the Luton Dunstable is going to cost more, then, man, we'd love to hear those figures.
Yep, no problem at all.
Cheryl,
but please, Ian, do remember that this is a package. This isn't just about
I know,
catering.
it's cleaners and other things as well, isn't it?
Cleaners and housekeepers. It is a package.
Cheryl, I appreciate you coming on, and if we can get those figures, that would be great to talk to you again.
OK, then, Ian.
Thank you very much indeed. Cheryl Godber from Unison. Thank you, Cheryl. Now, it's weird being at the BBC, because I do have to be impartial. Politics to one side, I think having fresh food prepared on site is brilliant. It's like if you have, there have been studies that prove that fresh food, having a good view out of the window and being mentally stimulated will get people out of hospital quicker. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. What's not a fact is it will cost more money. And after several questions, it turned out Cheryl didn't have the figures. And that's why it's so easy for people to knock the unions, because they say stuff like that. It's a real wasted opportunity, Cheryl. Let's hope she comes back with figures that prove her case. 08459 455 555 81333. Start your text 3CR. We'll do texts after this.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 is blocked northbound between junction 13 for Bedford and 14 for Milton Keynes because of an accident involving two lorries, so the traffic is at a standstill there at the moment while the emergency services are there. In Brogborough on Bedford Road, just nearby on the A421 approaching the M1 northbound, well, in both directions, that's closed because of a lorry fire between Highfield Crescent and Beancroft Road at Marston Mortain, and on the M25 that's busy anti-clockwise at junction 16 for the M40. It's also busy on the North Orbital Road at the M25 junction 21A roundabout, and in Aylesbury on Buckingham Road the traffic lights aren't working at Weedon Road, which could cause some delays. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you. I feel... Part of me feels bad that Cheryl was kind of didn't have all of the facts in front of her. Listen, I can't stress this enough. Fresh food prepared in a hospital, and we've heard people raving about it. Fantastic, but if your argument is it's going to cost more to do it another way, but then actually you don't have the stats, and actually you're not totally sure, and actually, well, this is what we think, well, you can't put that forward as an argument. 08459 455 555. It's Barry with the news.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury is worried about becoming homeless because her landlord doesn't allow children in his properties. Bianca is due to give birth in 8 weeks but has been served notice to leave the private rented house that she shares with her boyfriend and 8 other people. Aylesbury Vale District Council say they will make temporary accommodation available to her if required. The government is publishing its plans to outlaw psychoactive drugs, substances designed to mimic the effects of banned drugs. Many so-called legal highs are freely sold in ordinary shops and online. Bedford Road is closed this morning because of a lorry fire overnight. Police were called at 10 past midnight to a collision between 2 vehicles on the road known as the old A421. Emergency services are currently in attendance and the road will likely remain closed for several hours. David Cameron is visiting Warsaw and Berlin as he rounds off his 2-day tour of European capitals to argue the case for changes to the European Union. The Prime Minister is trying to win support for his plans before detailed negotiations start at a summit next month. And the weather forecast, dry initially this morning, but there'll be showers of rain later. The rain will turn heavy at times. Highest temperatures today of 15 degrees Celsius. That's 59 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The vote to elect FIFA's president takes place today as Prince Ali bin Al Hussein challenges the current president, Sepp Blatter. The election takes place after bribery and racketeering charges were laid against several top FIFA officials by US prosecutors. Blatter has already resisted calls to resign, led by UEFA President Michel Platini and Richard Bevan, the Chief Executive of the League Managers Association. He says Blatter should not remain as president.
The time has come that the 79-year-old president of FIFA needs to step down. We do not want him into a fifth term. Now, whether it's the 209 countries that decide in the vote, or whether it's UEFA and their votes changing, or whether it's the sponsors like McDonald's and Adidas having an impact, there must be change.
In cricket, the New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum thinks losing the first test to England at Lord's is still raw in their minds as they prepare for today's second test. England are one up in the two-test series after a 124-run victory at Lord's, but New Zealand are prepared to fight back.
Well, our guys are hurting a lot after that last test match. We felt that we did enough to give ourselves a good chance in the test, and to lose it hurts a lot. So that there's a steely resolve within the group to turn that around. And the beauty of only having 3 days between the test matches is that opportunity comes quicker than what it normally does.
Andy Murray is through to the third round of the French Open. He survived dropping a set to beat the Portuguese João Sousa 6-2, 4-6, 6-4, 6-1. But Heather Watson is out. She lost in straight sets to Sloane Stephens. Among the other second round winners are Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal and Serena Williams. And in golf, former Open champion Pádraig Harrington leads the Irish Open by a shot on 4 under par after his opening round. However, world number 1 Rory McIlroy has a share of last place after shooting a birdie free 9 over par. BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'll be back with a full bulletin at 8 o'clock.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We've been saluting Sepp. Do you know what Sepp Blatter is? He's utterly blatterly.
Okay.
It's my new idea. If it does go pear-shaped and he doesn't lose this election today, he will. He's a legend. Then he can take this idea to Channel 5. Utterly blatterly. What it is it's Sepp Blatter performing pranks on people all around the world, where he goes around with brown envelopes stuffed full of cash. Secret hidden camera, and he offers bribes to people. They go, "Yeah, all right," and he goes, "Aha! Look over there. There's a camera." Utterly blatterly. Boom. Yeah, I would watch that. I would pay top dollar to watch that.
Berlusconi's underused on the telly as well.
Yo, hang on a second. Let's come up with what's his first name?
Silvio.
Silvio. Hang on. Hang on a minute. What I need is about 1 minute and 50 seconds to think of something for Silvio Berlusconi. Okay, hang on, we go. Hang on.
There once was a wealthy man who had a wonderful idea to bring children from all places with all kinds of faces together into a sailing ship. There were 40 boys and girls. They would sail their ship around the globe, so they called it the United World. The ship was just 3 weeks from shore when a hurricane bore it down. The waves were big as mountains. They found they would surely drown. They jumped into the lifeboats, rowed away from the wreck. They didn't count them, they hadn't time. 5 children were left behind. The children fought the storm all night and finally fell asleep. They didn't realize the ship had been blown across a reef into the Lost Islands. What? Hiding in the bushes was a watchful pair of eyes, and living in the valley were people lost in time, ruled over by a tyrant whose face was in a mask. The children must defeat him so they can escape at last from the Lost Islands. The Lost Islands.
just switched off.
Opera standard! Opera standard!
Is that vein supposed to stand out so high?
Sorry, I'll do my belt back up. Opera standard! That was opera standard. Now I know why people love the opera, because I'm opera standard.
Yeah.
I'm opera standard. I never thought I'd be opera standard. It turns out all of those years studying at the Music Academy have paid off. I'm opera standard, guys.
What's your programme idea? I've got 3.
It's called Berlusconi Joking.
No, that was mine.
No, it wasn't, mate. I just said it first on the radio, so that counts more.
I've got 2 more. Right.
It was Catherine's. Naughty, yes.
1, Silvio Berlusconi in hospital, right?
Right.
Silvio only when I laugh. Okay?
Scoins has got a good one.
Here's another one. You ready?
Yeah.
Silvio Berlusconi in a modified car. Chitty bunga bunga.
Scoins has got Berlusconi's, pepperonis and macaronis. It's a food show. I'd watch that. I'd like that one. Silvio's rodeos. And Sylvie's trilbies. I'm stretching it a bit, Scoinsy. OK, we can do that. TV shows for Sepp Blatter and Silvio Berlusconi. I mean... Silvio Berlusconi, where he dresses up in a basque.
Let's see how he likes it.
Is Dennis still there?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
Listen.
Yes.
It really doesn't matter if you flatter Mr. Flatter.
Are you doing a poem?
It just sits back.
Is this Roger McGough? We got Spike Milligan on the line. It really doesn't matter if you flatter Mr. Blatter. He's going to sit on his platter, getting fatter, fatter, and fatter.
Gets fatter, yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Well done, Pam. I like my. I wish I looked after my teeth. Because that's a Pam Ayres poem, guys.
Yeah,
I'm reciting it from memory.
And spotted the dangers beneath.
What can you quote? Because people don't quote anything. Here's a quote. Let me do a quote. This is the only quote I can do.
I've got some William Blake.
This is the only quote I can do, right? And I did this when I had that loud bloke. Who's the boxer?
Eubank.
Eubank was on TV show, and he comes on.
Not
and
a boxer, he's a pugilist.
he's an idiot. He came on and he parked his truck up in the street and blocked the street. And he's on this show, and he does all these Shakespeare quotes. Anyone can remember words, right? It's easy, right? And he's doing all this, and I pwned him on live TV. I went, "All right, Chris, have some of this. Don't think." Feel. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger, or you will miss all the heavenly glory. Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon.
Oh, you
have
did the
some
voice.
of that.
Yeah.
Hence the accent.
Oh, I thought you were doing.
I was toning it down for radio.
I thought you were doing Scarface.
No. No, I was doing Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, 1973, Warner Brothers.
Beautiful.
Thank you. You can do a quote?
Yeah, my dad paid me to learn Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what eternal hand or eye could frame thy fearful imagery.
Go on then,
Symmetry.
Let's hear it.
Symmetry, not imagery.
Refund!
You can have the fibre.
Refund! It's fair play. You could have got paid to do a lot worse in the 70s and 80s. Kelly, what can you quote?
Berlusconi, joking.
So catch me if you can, 'cause I'm the England man. And what you're looking at is the master plan.
So, I've actually turned their microphones off. So we've got 3 phone-ins, Dennis.
Really?
TV shows for Sepp Blatter.
Yes.
We've got 4 phone-ins. TV shows for Sepp Blatter.
Yes.
TV shows for Silvio Berlusconi.
Yes.
What can you quote? And who wants to say happy birthday to an old man?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather have the Berlusconi.
Go on then.
The other one was too fat.
But Berlusconi's quite large.
I know, but he's all right with the ladies.
What type? Now listen, we've sent Dealey out onto the streets.
Yes.
To vibe up your big day, D-man. Why have we got Dennis on now and not Dealey? Why the two surely should have been combined, guys?
They're never really in the same room together, are they?
That's that. Well, yeah. Because you know what this means. We have to have Dennis back on later on.
What?
Well, we have to play him Dealey's package.
Oh, yeah.
We've wasted a Dennis.
Dealey's.
Sorry.
But you fancy that?
Hang on. I think he might. You've got to make for the £10 to change hands, Dennis.
Yeah,
you've got to last the whole day. There's still plenty of time to go.
But.
Tell me what street you live in. I can drive very fast.
A lot of friends coming round today, so.
Yeah. So there's a chance that the shock might be too much for you, isn't there, Dennis?
Yeah, well, that's right.
So my tenor is still safe.
Hey, sorry.
Speak to you later on.
Happy birthday, Dennis.
There's plenty of time for me to make sure my tenner's safe. All I got to do is sneak up behind him and go, boo! £10.
Check that he's
I
there.
take it straight out of his wallet. Take it straight out of his wallet.
So that's 2 90-year-olds you've threatened today.
Yeah, sure, why not? Bring it on.
We've got a winner, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And the competition we're not playing for programmes.
We're giving away a free TV licence and a car.
George Warner, Blatt's Life, hosted by Esther Ranson.
Well, so what's Blatter's role in it?
It's a docudrama hosted by Esther Ranson. Blatt's Life.
There we go. Esther Ranson, of course, previous with this station, friends of BBC Three Counties Radio.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Sepp Blatter called up. Friend of the show. We got any texters?
Yeah.
Let's have some texters.
Let's.
Well, read them out loud. Yes.
Okay. The bride is usually the focus on her wedding day. Oh, this is about that couple who proposed in front of the top table at a wedding, and it's gone viral on the social media and that.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to Jill, by the way, who says, can you just stop putting things on Twitter and not Facebook? I don't do Twitter. I don't understand it. Thank you. Well, Jill, maybe you should try and understand it.
Okay.
Bride is usually the focus on a wedding day. For someone else to turn up wearing white is a blatant attempt to draw attention away from the bride, Kelly Betts says Helen in Milton Keynes.
You've been Berlusconi'd, says Lino. Watco says a blatter of life and death.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Why were we doing that? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, actually, does it? I'm going to retract that question, Your Honour.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 is closed northbound at junction 13 for Bedford to 14 for Milton Keynes because of an accident which is causing 3-mile queues now. On the southbound M1, that's looking slow as well because of people looking over between junction 14 for Milton Keynes and 13 for Bedford. In Aylesbury on Buckingham Road, the traffic lights aren't working at Weedon Road, which is causing slight delays on the speed sensors. And in Brogborough on the Bedford Road, that's the old A421 near to the M1 where it's blocked. That's also been closed by an accident because of a lorry fire between Highfield Crescent and Beancroft Road at Marston Mortain. On the A414 Park Street, that's looking slow on the speed sensors around the Park Street roundabout at the North Orbital Road. And on the trains, Great Northern have possible 10-minute delays between Moorgate through Moorgate because a train's broken down there. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Do you like pickled eggs, Sammy?
No.
In that case, I'm afraid we're going to have to split up. It's you, not me. Don't worry. Don't like pickled eggs. I mean, 7:46. It's Friday, the 29th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury is worried about becoming homeless because her landlord doesn't allow children in his properties. And FIFA delegates will decide later whether to appoint Sepp Blatter to a 5th term as president. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's get the weather. Is Elizabeth.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. We've got some heavy rain on the way, not quite yet, but it won't be too long. And eventually we'll start to see those outbreaks of rain through the late morning and the first part of the afternoon turn very heavy indeed. So turning wet, turning really very windy as that weather front clears as well. Not very nice through the middle part of the day, but we are in for a drier middle to late part of the afternoon. So some drier weather eventually emerging. We'll get some spells of sunshine as well. We'll always watch out for a few showers through the rest of the day, but in general, it should be a drier end to the day, at least. Top temperatures today, 15 or 16 Celsius, 61 in Fahrenheit. Dry too overnight, quite chilly compared to how it has been. Lows of around 6 or 7 degrees in the rural spots. And then tomorrow, the better looking day of the weekend, it'll be dry, bright. There'll be some lovely sunshine around and temperatures up to 16 degrees. The sunshine a bit hazier into tomorrow afternoon. Wake up to a very wet and windy start again on Sunday. But once more, it should dry out by the time we get to the middle to the end of the afternoon. There'll be a little bit of sunshine around, but generally unsettled too for the start of next week. That's the forecast.
Elizabeth?
Yeah?
Do you like pickled eggs?
I don't think I've ever eaten a pickled egg. No, they just don't look very appetising.
I'm afraid we're going to have to split up. It's you, not me. Don't like pickled eggs? What's wrong with these people?
If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
Did the drugs in his mouth kill him?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Did they play a part in his death?
He had 4 glasses of champagne, 2 bottles of wine, 4 cocktails. What's 2 French?
I have a feeling that was a cocktail as well.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
And Renata Blower, you have just allowed the first ever nurse to be funded for Great Ormond Street who will deal specifically with children who have undiagnosed conditions.
bbc.co.uk/3 Counties Radio.
Well, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Bedfordshire, Ollie Martins, joins me in the studio. Were you wrong to go ahead with this referendum?
But what was the alternative? As I've said, that was not a situation.
Stop the clock. I think I can do an Ollie Martins impression. I think.
Careful.
No, I'm not going to say anything litigious. I'm really thinking that I can do impressions.
Yeah, I know.
I can occasionally. I had a good Ed Miliband for a day, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then I couldn't do it
You used to be
again.
able to do Donovan.
The lost city of Atlantis. Atlantis.
You're such an idiot.
Only because that's a good impression of Donovan, and it's completely useless.
And you've got to say, and now I'm me.
There's no currency in being able to do Donovan. I can't do Ollie Martins now. Maybe I
Listen to him again.
Okay, hang on.
And I was prepared to just sit there and do nothing about it.
Well, what was I supposed to do? Just sit there and... What? Hang on. Shh. Well, what was I supposed to do? Just sit there and do nothing about it? Those guys got me really angry. Is that it? That's not bad, is it?
That's quite good.
Start
for
the
first
clock.
Go.
To listen to what you missed. bbc.co.uk/3 Counties Radio.
Well, what was I supposed to do? Just sit there and... They got me so angry.
Fiddling while Rome burns.
Sorry?
Fiddling while Rome burns. He likes that one.
No need to be rude.
No, he likes that one.
Carpet Martin says Berlusconi's Gymkhana ponies. Silvio tours the home counties meeting the pets of new money families with Claire Balding.
Somewhere there's a guy with a hipster beard writing all this down.
Yeah. These will get pitched. These will get pitched in some trendy coffee shops where you've got to sit on a shoe and they serve coffee in a thimble. This is happening in London, where they can't drink the coffee because the beard gets in the way. Blat'll be the day, says Michael. Countdown of Sep's favourite hits from the 50s, 60s and 70s.
Here we got Mark in Bedford says blatter scatter.
Oh, God, I don't know if I like the sound of that. I think I've seen that film.
Contestants are hunted by a team of crack tax inspectors through a hotel. Winners get £1 billion, losers get 25 years.
By the way, we're not in any way saying that Sepp Blatter has broken any laws.
No.
He pays his tax. Saying that, Chris says, Simon Cowell Global Talent Show. People send in cash in brown envelopes to appear on Blatt's Entertainment.
I've got one.
Okay.
Blatt's Entertainment.
It doesn't blatter.
No, it does, mate. Go on, tell us.
People give him a problem and he just says, don't worry about it. I'm not.
I'm geezer.
Doesn't blatter.
Oh, here's another one.
Fun. Great to have you back, Kelly.
Thanks.
You'll get up to speed soon, don't worry.
Michael Naylor says, how about Led Zeppelin?
Ooh.
Where the Swiss Dodgepot forms a new wannabe rock band.
It's a bit of fun, Deals.
Yeah, morning, boss, you all right?
He can take it because he's a player.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? Sepp Blatter is an absolute legend. You know,
really is.
Well, you name me one other person who would have just carried on with a great big smile on his face in those circumstances.
Berlusconi.
Well, Berlusconi and Blatter, they are separated at birth. It is brilliant. Everyone's going, Sepp, listen, you've done it for years, right? You've made a load of money. You've had a really good run. Probably best you stand. I'm not standing down. In fact, he had a big party last night, and today he's up for election.
His first words in his speech was, "Man, wasn't that a parade?"
Oh, you've got to love the man. You've got to love the man.
You have. He's an absolute legend. He's an absolute player, and I think everybody who hates him is looking at those photographs today. Yeah, loads of money, flash suits, flash women, lots of power. It's jealousy.
It's the same. It's the same reason that we hate what's his name? Sugar, Lord Sugar.
Yeah,
because he's good looking. He's got loads of money and loads of fit girls.
Yeah.
And he invented Amstrad computers. Justin, ghosts.
Yeah.
Spooky. Spooky ghosts. Spooky ghosts. Imagine the scene, dear listener. You're lying on your sofa. Somebody takes a picture of you. You, alone, on the sofa, fiddling with a tablet, maybe updating your Facebook status, maybe checking your email. It doesn't matter. But when you look at the photograph, it's not just you. There's a ghostly figure that's not meant to be there.
And it's definitely not been added by one of those ghost apps you can get on your phone, because the bloke said not.
Well, this happened to Vicky Mills from Welwyn Garden City. Justin, you're with Vicky now. Tell us the story, mate. What's going on?
Boss, are you prepared to hear the evidence, though?
I am prepared to hear the evidence.
You sure?
Yeah, no, I really am. And I'm coming at this with an open mind, brother. Yeah. Away you go.
If people want to see the picture, it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook. Search for BBC Three Counties Radio. You will see the picture we are talking about right now, which is very, very weird. Vicky, thanks for joining us. You're live across Beds, Herts and Bucks. You've got the picture here in your hand. It was taken 2 weeks ago. You think this is your grandson Lewis, who died at the age of just 8 in tragic circumstances. The night before that picture was taken, tell us what happened in your bedroom.
Well, I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, thought I was, somebody was standing over me. And as I woke up, I see this white figure standing there, and all I think I heard it say was, "Hello, Nan." And I just said, "Lewis." And then, as I shut my eyes and opened again, it was gone. So I thought nothing more of it.
OK, so the next day, your eldest grandson, he's in your living room, and he takes a random photograph of you sitting on the sofa. Describe to our listeners who is also in this picture here, please.
Well, it's a white figure. When he showed me it, I sort of went a bit white, and he said, "What's the matter, Nan?" And I said, "I see that exact thing last night at 3 o'clock this morning in my bedroom." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, that was standing beside me." I said, and "It said, 'Hello, Nan,' to me." I said, "And if you look," I said, "there's a hand," I said, "on the settee." I said, "And the door handle's in front of it." I said, "So it can't be just my imagination. I see the exact thing in my bedroom," because Grant didn't know nothing about the dream I had. Nobody knew about it except for Lewis's dad at 7 o'clock in the morning.
We've seen pictures of Lewis in your living room. So this picture again, our listeners can see this on social media. Do you think that is Lewis in that picture?
Well, yeah, I think it is, because of the nose and the eyes. If you look at one of the photos I've got on my wall of Lewis, the nose and the eyes look exactly the same. And as I said, it said, "Hello, Nan," and I straight away said Lewis. And that was it.
And let's get this absolutely clear right now. A bit like the guys back in the studio, you don't believe in ghosts at all, do you? So this has really spooked you out.
No, I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm not scared of it because obviously, I thought it was Lewis anyway, so, but I don't actually believe in ghosts, no.
And you've actually been to his grave and said, "Lewis, please, stop doing this to me."
Yeah, I told him to go away and stop haunting me and go and haunt his Auntie Sandra, is what I told him to do.
OK, a lot of people are going to be questioning this photograph, and they had been already this morning saying it's a fake. Your eldest grandson who took this photograph, he must have had some sort of ghost app on his phone. What would you say to those people?
Well, he didn't have a ghost app on his phone. The phone had been switched off for over a year, and he put it on charge, and there was nothing on his phone. It was totally wiped. I said, and so that's when he took the photograph just to see if it still worked. And it's a very old Nokia. See if it still worked. And when my other granddaughter checked to see if it had any apps on it, she couldn't find an app on it. She said, "Oh, he hasn't got no apps on it," and gave him the phone back. But we knew it had no apps on it because it had been wiped clean.
OK, and just lastly, today, just to get the proof that you're looking for, really, you're going to the University of Hertfordshire with your daughter, and you're going to have an expert look at this photograph, because just in case your eldest grandson is messing you around, I'm sure that you would get hold of him by the neck if he was, but you want the proof that this really is real.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to see. We don't know if the bloke's still at the university. We've been told he is. So we're going to go and see if we can find out who he is and if he would have a look at the photo. Because, yes, we want to find out if it's genuine or not. But I honestly, truthfully think that it is genuine because my grandson didn't have the app on his phone, and we'd only picked his phone up about an hour, if that, beforehand. So he'd only been on charge about 5 minutes when he took the photo.
I definitely felt something in your room as well earlier on. Vicky, thank you very much.
OK, darling, thank you.
There you go. Vicky
What did you
Mills
feel in her
joining us
room?
live.
What did you feel in her room, Justin? How did yourself, mate?
You
felt a vibe, did you?
Yeah, it just felt strange. And I think, people again will look at this photograph and they'll say, "Oh, look at that, it's a fake." Well, you've heard the story there. Vicky doesn't believe in ghosts at all. No. And she had the dream the night before. This phone was turned off for over a year. The first photograph is this.
Yeah, OK. And fair play. Sorry for the loss of Lewis. He sounds like he was a right character. A cheeky little monkey.
Yeah.
Let me be scientific for a moment, Justin.
Go on.
Supposing the fella that took this picture did it as a joke.
No.
No, hang on. And now that Vicky, believes that it's Lewis, as she would want to, of course she would.
Mm-hmm.
The fella that took the photo now can't go, sorry, Nan, I was joking, because she's bought into the fact that, she thinks it's Lewis.
Well, Vicky, do you
he's
think...
He's done it as a prank, I'm suggesting.
Is it a prank?
And he can't
No,
come
I
out
think
now.
if he'd done it as a prank beforehand, he wouldn't have let me go to the Welling Hatfield Times and show them the photograph to start with.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let me be doing all this if it was a prank. And hand on my heart, I honestly know it's not a prank.
Why would he put you through that?
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd only just picked the phone up, and it was totally dead for, as I said, over a year.
Yeah.
So there was nothing else. He hadn't even made a phone call, or he didn't have a message on it, or nothing.
Well, can I ask, Vicky, was Lewis a bit of a character? Was he a bit of a troublemaker?
Was he a troublemaker?
Was he a bit of a character?
Grandson?
Yeah.
Lewis.
Lewis?
Yeah.
Oh, Lewis drove me out the even my little shit he was.
Oh,
Vicky,
sorry.
no, don't you worry about that. Listen,
sometimes
I think that, that Vicky, listen.
Do everything that you shouldn't do.
Vicky, listen, I know you can't hear me, but listen, thank you very much indeed. I think you're allowed to talk about your dead 8-year-old grandson and use a word like that. Apologies if anyone was offended, but she was describing someone who was very close to her, and, well, it sounds like he was a right little so-and-so, doesn't it? Vicky, thank you. Wouldn't it be nice if that were true, but... Nah.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 is closed northbound because of a 2-lorry accident between junction 13 for Bedford and 14 for Milton Keynes. It's causing 4-mile queues now, Iain called to say. The air ambulance and the emergency services are there at the scene. Also, it's looking slow southbound through that stretch as people look over from junction 14 for Milton Keynes to 13 for Bedford. In Aylesbury on the A413, the traffic lights aren't working at Weedon Road, which is causing some delays. In Brogborough on Bedford Road, the old A421, that's still closed in both directions between Highfield Crescent and Beancroft Road at Marston Mortain. And in Borehamwood, the A1 has queue southbound from the Holiday Inn towards the Stirling Corner. Samantha Bruff, BBC Radio.
Oh, thank you, Sammy. Again, none of you would have been... Apologies if you were offended by the bad language, but permission to speak freely? I thought it was hilarious.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: Aylesbury woman served notice on her tenancy because she's pregnant. MLMP outlines government plans to ban legal highs. And Luton and Dunstable Hospital to outsource its catering.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. Bianca is due to give birth in 8 weeks' time, but has been served notice to leave the private rented house that she shares with 8 other people and her boyfriend. The landlord doesn't allow children in the house, so they had to move out on Tuesday. Bianca's friend, Vicky Cannell, has been speaking to Iain this morning.
They basically have told her, I actually found something slightly different out the other day, but the council have told her she's got to, once she's had the baby, spend a night on the street before they even put her in emergency accommodation.
Well, Aylesbury Vale District Council say they will make temporary accommodation available to her if required, and they are exploring alternative housing options. Bedford Road is closed between Brogborough and Marston Mortain this morning because of a lorry fire overnight. Police were called at 10 past midnight to a collision between 2 vehicles on the road known as the old A421. Emergency services are currently in attendance and the road will likely remain closed for several hours. Meanwhile, the M1 is closed northbound between Junction 13 for Bedford and Junction 14 for Milton Keynes because of an accident. The government is publishing its plans to outlaw psychoactive drugs, substances designed to mimic the effects of banned drugs. Many so-called legal highs are freely sold in ordinary shops and online. Past moves to ban the drugs have been frustrated by chemists who have changed what's in them to evade the law. The policing minister and MP for Hemel Hempstead, Mike Penning, says the ban here has been modelled on the approach adopted overseas.
We've worked very closely with other countries to see how it's worked for them. So in the Republic of Ireland in 2010, they did the blanket ban. It is absolutely decimated, thank goodness, these sorts of products that young people were taking, the sale of them and the producing them. And so we can pick up the good things from their legislation and take it forward.
Police are appealing for information for a 25-year-old man who is missing in Hertfordshire. Damon De Bruin was last seen at 9:30 on Wednesday morning at his home in Welland Garden City. He is thought to be in ill health, and police say he may have made his way to the Digswell area and that he could be in a garden. David Cameron is visiting Warsaw and Berlin as he rounds off his 2-day tour of European capitals to argue the case for changes to the EU. The Prime Minister is trying to win support for his plans before detailed negotiations start at a summit next month. The Healthcare Workers Union claims Luton and Dunstable Hospital are taking a huge step backwards by outsourcing its catering services. It means meals that were prepared by chefs on site will now be provided by a private company and heated up. Cheryl Godber is from the union Unison. She says it will lead to a reduction in overall quality.
Food will be cooked elsewhere, probably many, many miles away, chilled, and then shipped into the hospital to be preheated and then served up to the patients.
Well, the board of the Luton and Dunstable University Hospital made a decision in 2014 to outsource some services to improve what they say is the quality of service and to achieve better value. The weather forecast: the morning will start off dry. There'll be showers of rain later. Highs of 15 Celsius, 59 in Fahrenheit. Those are the headlines. I'm back with more at 8:30.
Tired, I'm hungry, got another one of these to do later on, and on the way to the other one I'm going to pay a visit to the clown. Yeah, the clown, the motorway clown. Bit pricey, but it just tastes so much nicer. Housing, hospital food, ghosts, swearing on the radio, and TV show ideas for Sepp Blatter, The Player, and Silvio Berlusconi, The Player. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
We'll do some texts as well in a minute. 81333, start your text 3CR. Yesterday we were contacted by one of our listeners, Jane. Morning, Jane, who told us her friend was heavily pregnant and facing eviction. The friend's name is Bianca Stacey, and she and her partner have been told their tenancy won't be renewed as children aren't allowed in the house they currently share with 8 other people. Well, Bianca has been waiting to be housed by Aylesbury Vale District Council, but she says it's a very anxious time. Scott Dawes is from Shelter, who help people who are homeless and living in poor conditions. Morning, Scott.
Morning.
I guess you've heard this story a million times, have you?
I'm afraid so. It's increasingly common, not least because private renting has gone through the roof in recent decades. There are now sort of 11 million renters. And the number of families in many areas renting has doubled in the last 10 years. So it's no wonder that the ending of private renting agreements is now the leading cause of homelessness. So it's an increasingly common problem that people are coming to Shelter for.
I can kind of understand that you know, if it's in the tenancy agreement and there are 8 other people in the house, the no kids rule. I mean, it sounds harsh, but it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, a lot of the rights are weighted in favour of the landlord. There's not a lot a tenant can actually do in this scenario. The power is with the landlord. It just highlights how precarious private renting actually has become. And because there aren't enough homes being built at the moment, we only build half of the homes we need as a country. More and more families are renting, but it puts them at risk because they can't own their own home. It puts them at risk of being evicted at very short notice. So we're actually calling for longer-term tenancies and things to make sure that people have a stable home for renting, and it's more important than ever for families.
What is there that someone in a situation like this, they're heavily pregnant, they're going to get booted out shortly, what could they do? What can they do?
Well, we'd always encourage people to come directly to Shelter. We help millions of people, about 4 million people every year, with various sort of housing situations. They can either come to us on our helpline, which is open 365 days a year. The number is 0808 800 4444. It's completely free, and you can speak to one of our specialist housing advisors. We also have website pages as well you can go to with templates too, but you can also go to your council. So presumably the people you've had on your programme spoke to, already went to their council, and councils are between a rock and a hard place because they're increasingly having to do more with less. But you should always be going to your council and saying, look, I'm going to be homeless, or my landlord is...
And do they have to do anything? If you say, I'm going to be homeless, at what point do the council have to help? Is it in advance? Is it when you stood on the street with your suitcases? When do they have to step in?
Well, they will help you if you go to them early on, but increasingly, because they're having to do much more with less, sometimes they're not able to give you their full attention until you are literally there with your bags. If you come to shelter, we will help you make a homelessness application to your council and help try and push them along a little bit. But councils are really struggling to deal with the amount of people they're having to help. But increasingly, you're right, people are having to turn up with their bags before they are being housed. And then they're housed in accommodation, which is emergency accommodation. It's often poor quality. It's very expensive for the council to put people in as well. So it is hard for councils, but we do step in to try and help get a family house wherever possible.
Just going back to something you said. You said that shelter help 4 million people a year.
That's right. Yeah. So that's across all of our advice sort of outlets. So people visiting the website face to face, because we have services around the country. So you can go on the website and find a local service.
Yeah.
Or you can call us. So
4 million is an incredibly huge number.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, unfortunately, the housing crisis is in such a state at the moment that people are increasingly needing our help. It's not just us; there are other organisations as well. But when we're only building half of the homes we need a year, we have to help these people. But until the government actually steps up and decides to build more homes to increase the number, to make sure more people can own their own home and renting becomes more stable, we're going to be here helping people over the next few years.
Hey, Scott, do you remember when everyone laughed and criticised Ed Miliband for suggesting that he might introduce rent caps?
Well, yes, yeah. There were lots of policies that came out in the election about housing. We were pleased that housing was up the agenda. I mean, rent caps can be problematic. At the moment, we're calling for just things like stable rental contracts. So renters at the moment, can be turfed out after 6 months or even less. But we think that renters should have a stronger voice and should be allowed to stay in the home a little bit longer, a bit like more on the continent. So if you have a 3-year or a 5-year tenancy and you know what your rent increase is going to be, you can plan for the future. But at the moment, it's just very, very precarious for private renters.
Scott, I appreciate your time. Scott Dawes from Shelter. 4 million people a year they help. Blimey. We're asking for programmes for Sepp Blatter and Silvio Berlusconi. I've got no idea why. Carpet Martin says a Panorama special, Sepp sees Hep C.
Oh.
Sepp Blatter looks at the fallout from the Penrose inquiry into contaminated blood. I would watch that. I would watch that. Blatt's Boys, says Anne-Marie. I'll let you decide what that's about. And Sean says, in regards to the nan we just spoke to, who called her deceased grandson, oh, he's a right little so-and-so. He says, oh, that's quite endearing, that. And it is. It's such a nan thing to say.
It was said with affection.
Oh, no, yeah, it wasn't a criticism. And that's why I think we can get away with that this morning, because everyone knows exactly what she was talking about. Texas, please.
Well, not too many Texas here. No one cares about Blatter, apart from, says Tony.
Guys, he's a player. We're all... Every gentleman is jealous of him, but we're not allowed to say we're jealous of him because everyone's pointing the finger at Sepp Blatter. We're jealous of him. We're jealous. We're jealous of him.
Either that or we're fed up of being run by chances. Alan Luton says, have you noticed...
Never be fed up of being run by chances. Never.
Alan Luton says, have you noticed Blatter, Berlusconi, Eccleston, they're all little men. Is that their secret? I think it might be the massive wodge they carry around with them.
Sorry? Oh, the money?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair play. Nice to have you back, Kelly.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome, mate.
Yeah. Good things do come in small packages, though.
So they're potentially lethal things.
Hmm?
They could get you sacked.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to do this now.
That's a saying.
Yeah.
Hang on, let's listen to the drums. Ooh, drums.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka.
Fried potato waffles, waffle and versatile. They go with eggs, beans, chips, fish fingers. Ooh, fish fingers. Fried potato waffles,
okay.
Waffle and versatile.
Guys, all join in with the chorus, okay?
Fried potato
all join in with the chorus. Here it comes.
Waffle and versatile. They go with eggs, beans, chips, fish fingers.
Ooh, fish fingers.
potato waffles, waffly versatile.
That's the chorus.
Who made those? Did you make
And we're not allowed to say. We got in really big trouble for undue prominence for the captain. That's why we had to bleep that out. Anyway, so we're
It was Findus that complained, wasn't it?
yeah.
Or Iceland.
So imagine, right? This is how rubbish. This is how rubbish security is for our Prime Minister. Did you see Number 10 Downing Street got invaded this week?
Oh, yeah.
By a heron.
Well, it looked like a heron. It might have been someone in a costume.
That's how posh David Cameron is, right? This is how out of touch he is with our house got invaded by a bird. It was a pigeon, right? And it terrified my boy, although he found it hilarious. It did a whoopsie in his bedroom, right? His house gets invaded by a heron. He's so a heron addict. Oh! Yeah?
Well,
Player.
Next stop, Swan.
No, mate, that
That's
doesn't
what the
work.
Queen would have.
With massive... Imagine if that... just imagine for a second, right? Instead of it being a heron addict...
Player.
Imagine it was a member of IS.
Well...
Do you know what I mean?
Who says it wasn't?
Exactamundo. They can train these things now, our kids.
Could be a drone.
Could be a right drone on. With massive... let me read the story.
Say, in the World War, they used to attach bombs to, like, dolphins and seals and that.
Yeah. Well, bees can sniff out explosives. That's true.
I don't want to give anyone ideas.
In Norwich, they hung a monkey. They thought it was a Frenchman. That's true.
I thought that was like Gateshead or somewhere.
It doesn't matter where it was. It was
They
Hull.
done that, though, didn't they?
They hung a monkey during the war. They thought it was a Frenchman.
It wasn't in the war. Oh, it was in a war.
Yeah, it was in a war. The war.
Yeah, carry on.
They hung a monkey. This is true.
They hanged a monkey.
No, they hung it. It was in the past.
They hung it.
It was well hanged.
Well...
With massive gates and armed pulley. These coppers should have shot this heron. Boom. Blatter. With massive gates and... I don't shoot him. He's a player. With massive... I haven't got time for it now. You've been banging on so much.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1, it's been closed northbound between junction 13 for Bedford and 14 for Milton Keynes, and that's caused 4-mile queues because of an accident that's happened there, and that's the emergency services there, and it's really slow in the opposite direction too. So the M1 southbound has delays between junction 14 for Milton Keynes and 13 for Bedford, with about 3-mile queues of people slowing down to look at that. In Aylesbury, on the A413 Buckingham Road, the traffic lights aren't working at Weedon Road, so that could be causing some delays this morning. And in Borehamwood, on the A1, there are queues southbound from the Holiday Inn towards the Stirling Corner. On the trains, Great Northern have possible 10-minute delays through Moorgate because the train broke down earlier. It has been cleared from the line, but some delays are left over. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
What sort of videos have you got?
8:16. Friday, the 29th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. And David Cameron is visiting Warsaw and Berlin as he rounds off his 2-day tour of European capitals to argue the case for changes to the EU. Warsaw, I should say we all are.
BBC
Saw of war.
Counties Radio.
So, I mean, guys... Hello, Gary.
Hello. Hi.
Yes?
Yeah, I agree with you. Sepp Blatter is a player!
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
08459 455 555. Well, it filled the gap. It bridged... You're right. Do you need a breather? I like it when you come down late, because you always come down out of breath. Do you want me to play a little trail, or you okay? Oh dear.
No, I'm okay.
All right, you're right.
Okay. Good morning.
Were you? I nearly swore then. Were you rollicking your team upstairs? Were you horsewhipping them?
I was saying, can you hurry up, please, because I'm going to get it in the neck.
We had an old woman swear on the show this morning. I love that. I'm not supposed to love it. It's outrageous, but she swore.
Which word did she use?
The S word. It was so sweet. It was sweet. Okay, she was talking about ghosts, but she was talking about her 8-year-old grandson who passed away. And I said, what was Lewis like? Was he a bit of a character? She went, oh, he was a right little...
Really?
But in the way that grands say that stuff, and what they mean is, I miss him and I love him and he was wonderful. Oh, he was a right little S-word.
Really?
Bless her, yeah.
Gosh.
My nan used to say similar about me, but I was actually...
Were you?
Yeah, I was horrible.
I can imagine.
I was such a naughty little boy. I was such a naughty... Oh, I haven't got my bag now, otherwise I'd show you a picture of me playing the cello as an 8-year-old. Which for some reason I've got in my bag. Playing it with Fiona King, whose brother was called Wayne. That is true. That is actually fact. That is fact.
Right.
Welcome. What's in your show this morning, friend?
Coming up on the big phone in this morning from 9. Do you sympathise with women who get pregnant but can't afford housing? 180,000 listeners have now been online to read the story that we discussed yesterday, you'll remember, of a Milton Keynes mum with 3 children who was unhappy with the home she'd been given for free by the council. Today, we've all been hearing the story of Bianca Stacey, who lives with her partner in a shared house with 8 people. She's fallen pregnant, and since the landlord won't allow babies, she and her partner are now struggling to find a place to live. Well, both stories centre around local women who've started families despite not being able to stand on their own 2 feet financially. Well, from 9 this morning, I want your reaction to this. Do you sympathise with women who get pregnant but can't afford housing? I'd like your call on 08459 455 555 from 9.
Every Sunday morning from 9.
I play soul music. I've always had a deep love of soul music. Soul music is such happy music anyway. When I say soul music, I'm talking about Motown and Philadelphia.
Tony Blackburn.
The artists that I'd play really would be people like Luther Vandross, Alexandra, Neil, Sister Sledge, a lot of the Motown, Diana Ross and the Supremes.
With 2 hours of great soul music for Sunday morning.
There's some good new soul records that come out. I do include them, but they're mainly classics. Most people like hearing music from the 70s and 80s, and particularly the jazz funk era.
Tony Blackburn.
Music has been and always has been a very strong part of my life.
Every Sunday morning from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, the story that we did on our show yesterday, and Kelly very kindly put the pictures up on Facebook, so thank you, Kelly. It's been seen like... Well, we've never had such a big response. It's been seen by so many people. Someone posted a comedy picture of a shark. It was Scott, who's a regular contributor to the show. It's had nearly 1,000 likes. Outrageous! Who'd have thunk it? Well done for getting those pics up, Kelly. That's how you work Facebook. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. 81333. Start your text 3CR, and it's Dennis's 90th birthday. If he makes it to midnight, I lose a tenner. We'll speak to Dealey about that in a bit. Hospital food is often ridiculed, he said, switching tracks and changing tacks. But the meals served up at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital have been rated among the best in the country, which is why Unison members have concerns about plans to outsource its food services so there'd be no on-site chefs anymore. We spoke to someone from Unison. First argument was great. You eat freshly produced food, it's healthier for you. Right. Then they kind of said, well, it'll be more expensive to do it the new way. What? It'll be more expensive. We've got figures. Sorry? Where are the figures? Well, I haven't got them in front of me. What are the figures? We think it'll be more expensive. They didn't have an argument. It's going to be cheaper. But the health benefits, I think, are pretty well proven. And we can talk more about that with Alex Jackson, the coordinator for the Campaign for Better Hospital Food. Alex, explain to people who don't know why that eating good food in hospital is an important part of recovery.
Well, I mean, there's good data to show that where patients are actually eating the food for a start, because up to 50% of hospital food is wasted. But where patients are eating the food and it's nutritious, they are recovering more quickly, and that's particularly true in hospitals where they're there for a long time. Their mental health trust, for example, where patients are there for months or years at a time. It's really important that they're fed good food.
It's very rare, isn't it, for hospitals these days to prepare the foods in-house, as it were, freshly?
Well, what we're seeing over the last 10 years, hospitals have shut their kitchens. But in the last sort of 6-8 months, we've seen a comeback, if you like, of the hospital kitchen. And some trusts in some parts of the country are committed to putting kitchens back on their premises and to cooking freshly cooked food for patients. So that's why it's so surprising that Luton Dunstable Hospital are going ahead with closing their kitchen, because it goes against the trend.
But Alex, I suppose it's to do with money, isn't it? And it's gonna be cheaper to outsource the food, get it pre-prepared, bring it in and heat it. And hospitals haven't got much money.
Yeah, no, and I think actually you're wrong in that respect. It's definitely not cheaper.
How is it more expensive?
Well, I can give you an example, actually. There is a hospital trust in Oxford which is shutting its kitchen and has said that it will save it about £300,000 in total. But actually, over the long term, I can bet you that it will cost the trust more money, because what happens is caterers lose their ability to control their menus. They lose their ability to negotiate for fresh food from local suppliers. Basically, their hands are completely tied.
Right. Sorry, Alex. And I'm sorry to push this. Where's the evidence it's more expensive? You just said, I bet you it would be more expensive in the long run, but where's the evidence it's more expensive?
Well, if you go to our website, which is
I'm not going to. I'm talking to you now. I'm talking to you now. I'm not going to go online. Where's the evidence it's more expensive? Give me the evidence it's more expensive to outsource the food, and the claim that you just made that hospital says they're going to save $300,000 is rubbish.
Well, the figures are in 3 reports on our website. So you can go to that. I don't remember the figures exactly.
Alex, you knew you were going to be talking about this, mate. Well, how is it more expensive to outsource the food?
But for the reasons that I gave, because over the long term, what you see is hospitals their hands are tied. They can only buy pre-prepared ready meals. The cost of those meals stay the same or go up over time. And what you have with fresh cooked food is the ability of caterers to, obviously you spend more on staff, so you have more caterers employed to cook the food on site. I actually think that's a good investment, to invest in people, invest in jobs.
So you save money by having less staff.
Yes.
You save money by not having the facilities on site.
Well, do you?
You tell me. You apparently have got the figures to prove otherwise.
Well, as I said, the figures, which there is a complicated picture, and you need to. There's a lot of figures showing a lot of different data about lots of savings over time. So I think your listeners will have to go to the website.
Then, Alex, they're not going to, mate. They're not going to. I thought you could explain it. I don't believe, and no one has been able to tell me that it's going to be more expensive to outsource the food.
Well, we'll leave that to your listeners.
OK, Alex, thank you very much indeed. That's Alex Jackson, coordinator of the campaign for better hospital food. What is going on this week? Everyone keeps saying, oh no, it's going to be more expensive. Well, where's the evidence? Go to the website. No, I'm talking to you. You're here now. Tell me. Oh, it's complicated. Mate, listeners, here's the thing, right? People come on and plug their websites, OK? I guarantee that hardly anybody is going to go and click on that website. A few will, but hardly anybody will. I know that for a fact. Because I've done it with my website and I've plugged things. They won't.
Do you know, it's a real pity that Luton Dunstable Hospital didn't come on, because they could have ended this now. They will not be spending money that they can ill afford. I just don't believe it. And maybe the plans aren't even that advanced.
Peter.
But the other thing about this is everyone would rather that food was better in hospitals.
Here's the thing, right? If you're coming onto a show to talk about how things are changing and it's going to cost more money or save more money, I don't know, maybe have those numbers in front of you. I'm going to say this now. I do not believe that outsourcing food to a hospital is going to be more expensive. It's going to be cheaper, otherwise they wouldn't have done it. 08459 455. I've got a right cob on now.
Just give us the evidence.
Just give us the ev, mate. 0845. He'll complain. There'll be another complaint. I don't care. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. You can text 81333. Start your text 3CR. Or you can send me a cheeky email, ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. Have we got any texts?
Yeah, we have. Tony, you know the story we're talking at the top of the hour about, which was Bianca and Jason. They're living in a shared house with 8 other people.
Yeah.
She's very pregnant, about 7 months pregnant, and she's been told that because she's having a baby, no children allowed in the house, she's got to leave on Tuesday. No sympathy here in this text message from Tony in traffic on the A5.
Morning, Tony in traffic on the A5.
She knew she would be asked to leave the house if she had a child, so she should not become pregnant if she can't afford to move. She's now publicising it to put pressure on the council. Actually, she didn't come to us, one of her friends did. And then had to ask her whether she wanted to join us. So no, she didn't really come to us in the first place. So they'll provide her with a free house. It's another symptom of today's society. Don't have kids if you can't afford to, says Tony.
She didn't know she was pregnant, did she?
No.
She didn't know she was pregnant when she moved in her house. And also, I can. It's a weird one because I can kind of see that. But then you're saying only rich people can have babies. And you know, when we had our kids, we did the maths. Could we afford a kid? And we were, we're in a very fortunate position. My wife and I, we're both doing all right, and we've been a bit lucky with work and a bit lucky with buying property at the right time. We're doing all right. So we did the maths. But then you're kind of saying only rich people or people that a certain
so
amount. So
if you don't and you get pregnant, you should have an abortion.
That's
for society. Is that right?
State-sponsored abortion. I don't know. It's confusing, and we're going down a slightly sour track. So let's, for the last 30 minutes of the show, let's lift the mood, shall we?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 is closed northbound between junction 13 for Bedford and 14 for Milton Keynes, and the queues are all the way back from junction 12 for Flitwick now because the emergency services are there. And also it's looking slow southbound from junction 14 for Milton Keynes to 13 for Bedford, with people looking over to the opposite carriageway. It looks like it's really busy as well on the A5 in both directions between Markgate and Hotcliffe because of people using that as a diversion route for the closure of the M1. And we've just been told that it's really, really, really busy at a standstill there with lots of lorries. In Brogborough on the Bedford Road, the A421, that's closed between Highfield Crescent and Beancroft Road because of a lorry fire. And in Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road, that's slow at the M25 junction 21A roundabout. There's no reports of any problems though on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sam. I'm arguing with Scott about this. He's going, it's obvious it'll be more expensive to outsource because if you buy the ingredients for 500 meals and make them, it'll be a shed load cheaper than buying 500 prepared meals. They're doing it for kickbacks. Well, no, Scott, you're an absolute muppet because those prepared meals cost like tuppence, halfpenny each. They're mass-produced. They'll be producing like thousands and thousands of meals for different hospitals. Are you really that dumb?
Across beds
and breathe
and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. 3 people have died in a collision between a lorry and a car on the old A421, the Bedford Road, in the early hours of this morning. Police were called at 10 past midnight and the road is closed between Brogborough and Marston Mortain. It's likely to remain closed for some time. 2 people have been taken to hospital. A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. Bianca is due to give birth in 8 weeks but has been served notice to leave the private rented house that she shares with 8 other people and her boyfriend. Aylesbury Vale District Council say they will make temporary accommodation available to her if required. The government is publishing its plans to outlaw psychoactive drugs, substances designed to mimic the effects of banned drugs. Many so-called legal highs are freely sold in ordinary shops and online. Past moves to ban the drugs have been frustrated by chemists who have changed what's in them to evade the law. Police are appealing for information for a 25-year-old man who is missing in Hertfordshire. Damon de Bruin was last seen at 9:30 on Wednesday morning at his home in Welland Garden City. It's thought he may be in the Digswell area. David Cameron is visiting Warsaw and Berlin as he rounds off his 2-day tour of European capitals to argue the case for changes to the EU. The Prime Minister is trying to win support for his plans before detailed negotiations start at a summit next month. And the Healthcare Workers Union claims Luton and Dunstable Hospital are taking a huge step backwards by outsourcing its catering services. It means meals that were prepared by chefs on site will now be provided by a private company and heated up. And the weather forecast, there will be some rain later. Some of the rain will be very heavy. Strong gusty winds too, with highs of 15 Celsius, 59 in Fahrenheit.
3 Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In cricket, Captain Alistair Cook needs just 32 more runs in the second test against New Zealand this morning to become England's highest run scorer in Test cricket. Cook says that helping England win is more important than personal milestones.
Your job as a batter is to score runs, so, however nice it will be if I do score 30, 31, 32, whatever it is to pass the great man, that won't be enough for the game. We're talking, you want to set up with big hundreds and big scores.
The vote to elect FIFA's president takes place today as Prince Ali bin Al Hussein challenges the current president, Sepp Blatter. The election takes place after bribery and racketeering charges were laid against several top FIFA officials by US prosecutors. Blatter has already resisted calls to resign led by UEFA president Michel Platini and Richard Bevan, the chief executive of the League Managers Association, who says Blatter should not remain as president.
The time has come that the 79-year-old president of FIFA needs to step down. We do not want him into a fifth term. Now, whether it's the 209 countries that decide in the vote, or whether it's UEFA and their votes changing, or whether it's the sponsors like McDonald's and Adidas having an impact, there must be change.
In tennis, Andy Murray has called for there to be more clarity after he was punished twice for exceeding the 20-second time limit between points during his second round win over João Sousa at the French Open. Meanwhile, Heather Watson is out. She lost in straight sets to American Sloane Stephens. And in golf, the former Open champion Padraig Harrington has teed off at 10-8 this morning in the second round of the Irish Open. Harrington was the overnight leader by one shot on 4 under par. Meanwhile, Rory McIlroy faces an uphill battle to make the cut when he tees off at lunchtime after carding a nightmare 9 over par 80 in his opening round. BBC Three Counties Radio News. Our next bulletin is at 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Iain says, I think the Carnival lads can explain the outsourcing of meals at the L&D, mate. Give them a call. If you don't know what he's talking about, may I suggest, was it yesterday's show we had the Carnival gentleman on? Was it yesterday or the day before? Yesterday. Go to the BBC iPlayer. Go to yesterday's show and jump to about 2 hours and 5 minutes. We had some right chances on. I mean, really. Talking about the Luton and Dunstable. I kicked them all out in the end. I kicked the fella in the studio out and I cut the other two off. I just couldn't... What's been with the guests this week?
I don't know, because in that case, I mean, they're all talking about different things, not listening to each other, and I haven't got a clue what was going on. I can understand how it can be disorganised, though, if you've got all those kind of parties doing their own thing.
Callan's on the line. Morning, Callan.
Morning, Iain.
What you got for us, fella?
Not bad. Just listening into what you're discussing about the hospital bills.
Yes.
And considering that catering companies that are doing currently the catering to hospitals, they are commercial enterprises, so they will have their their profit on top of the costs.
Yes.
Whilst a hospital, if the produce is done in-house, it's going to only pay for some stuff, and the benefits are clear. There is a little bit of more money left to buy more produce for the hospital. It is definitely fresh, cooked in-house, and everyone wins.
But it's cheaper to get mass-produced food prepared off-site, isn't it?
I would highly doubt, because even if it's mass-produced, not to forget that a catering company will always have a percentage added to the cost.
Yeah.
And that percentage would increase in time, if not already it's increasing, whilst it will always be at a minimum food standard. And people
the food. Listen, I'm pretty sure, Callan, the food is going to be rubbish compared. It's the taste comparison and the health comparison. The stuff that's freshly prepared, of course, is going to be better, but.
Yeah.
It's going to be cheaper. Even if they're a business, mass produce. I mean, they're not going to just make 500 meals. They're going to be making thousands of meals. That's how they're going to make their money.
Yeah, of course they will, but still they will have a certain percentage profit added on the top of the cost of the meal. And that's little percentage, even if it's 5%, because I don't think they would go less than 5%. I would more be inclined to believe that it's going to be about 15 or 20%.
And this is Callan, this is the problem I've had with everybody today, right? And your argument as well. And I really appreciate you calling in. Thank you. And by the way, you say cater. I've never heard anyone say catering so beautifully. Can you say it again for me, please?
Catering.
Oy, so it's like catering.
Yeah.
Everyone said, "Oh, yeah, we think it's going to be more expensive." Well, everyone's thinking that, but no one's got the evidence to back that up.
Well, it's not about trying to give an evidence here. But what I can definitely tell you is that any commercial enterprise, it's like, look, I'll give you a simple example. If you buy a sandwich from a sandwich shop, you would be paying probably, let's say, £2. If you go home, buy the same bread, the same butter, the same whatever bacon, you go home, you do the sandwich. Believe you me, it's going to be cheaper. And why? That's the point. That's the idea. So just simply making a mathematical calculation, because I'm not going to buy the most.
No, Callan, no. It doesn't work like that. You can't. That doesn't work like that. You can't then upscale it like that. The fact that they're making thousands of meals, those meals are going to cost. Well, if you're going to make stuff up, I'm going to make stuff up. those meals are going to. We might as well. We're in the world of fantasy. It would appear. Those meals are going to cost pennies. Pennies. The very fact that they're buying more ingredients and more things means they can do it cheaper than the hospital can. Yeah, they'll have a cheeky little markup. Sweet player. But it's going to be cheaper, isn't it?
I still don't. I wouldn't believe that.
Right,
I wouldn't believe that because the suppliers that are for the hospital, that are for the catering company, catering.
Here you go again. I love it. I love it.
All right.
Callan, listen, your homework this weekend is to find Ev. I want you to find evidence that it's actually going to be more expensive. And then you can call me up on Monday and you can pwn me, fella. You can take me down to a place I like to call Chinatown. Hey, Callan, do you listen to this nonsense a lot, this show?
I do listen quite a lot, and it's not nonsense.
Well, you're very kind. And it's the first time we've spoken, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, well, listen,
I've spoken to your colleagues a couple of times before, but everyone is saying, oh, your accent is very interesting. Where are you from? Well, I'll let you guess.
I'm not even going to... hang on, Catherine has slept her way around the world.
Well, I haven't been here. Egypt? Are you Egyptian?
No. Oh, no.
Don't offend the man. He'll never call us again.
He said guess. He opened the floodgates.
No, it's no offence. I've been to Egypt. However, I'm not Egyptian. No, I'm Romanian. I was born in Romania, and I live.
And this is why you see. This is why we didn't allow. Callan, this is why we didn't allow Nigel Farage to get much power.
Oh, you know what? I love the guy.
No, we want more of you over here. Are you going to stop that?
No, let me tell you something. The guy has a point. He doesn't know how to bring it across. Fair enough.
Okay.
If somebody else would be more charming to put it across well, it would be funny and even better. But I agree with him in principle.
Well, in that case, Callan, go back home then.
Oh no! If my wife wouldn't be British, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, I see. So you agree with Farage, but only because it works for you.
He's only here for the ladies.
He's here for the British women. Get your hands off our girls, Callan. Leave some for us.
I will promise you one thing. Whenever I get my British citizenship, I'll invite Nigel to the ceremony. I will definitely do so.
Callan, it's really nice to talk to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555. Dealey!
You said catering like a lot of my old boyfriends said gathering.
Gathering. You're right, Just.
Yes, live on the streets of Welling this morning.
Hey,
having great fun.
You are well in there.
Yes. Bit like Sepp, of course. Well in there with most ladies across the world.
Player.
Yeah.
And all the ladies in the house, ladies, that are saying that they think he's horrible.
Yeah.
You get jealous.
Absolutely.
You're jealous because you know that he won't even give you a second look, catering.
He wouldn't be interested, that's why.
Yeah, he wouldn't be interested.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be interested in that.
Put some red fishnets on and maybe he'll give you a second look.
No.
Okay, exactly.
I'm not jumping through hoops for that.
Well, let's end that there. Justin, what you got for us?
Dennis is 90 years old today.
That's true, isn't it, Dennis?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
You're right. I was going to get the mirror then, check your breathing.
Breathing, certainly.
My £10 could be safe. Dennis, what did you get for your birthday? An Xbox?
No. I'm buying some new telephones because these two cocoa tins along piece of string are not working properly.
At last, a new telephone. Justin, you've got something for Dennis, have you?
I have. We've got some audio to come in a second, but Dennis, of course, one of our regular listeners, and people absolutely love him. Joining me live here in Welling is Selsun, as in the anti-dandruff shampoo. He's approached... Yeah, Selsun.
I'm not aware of that one.
Yeah.
Is that like T-gel?
Selsun.
Head and Shoulders?
No. It's a popular brand.
Okay.
Selsun.
All right, mate.
He's come up to the car. He's a big fan of Dennis, like most people. Selsun, you would like to wish Dennis a very happy birthday. You'd like to sing him a song, so take it away, sir.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, dear Dennis. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dennis.
Woo! Give this man a round of applause. Come on. Player. Thank you.
Great work, T-Joe.
Have a good day. Have a good day at work.
What a nice gentleman.
He wasn't. He approached me. He said, "Do you mind if I sing Happy Birthday?" I said, no, it's not a problem. So that's what he's had to say.
Well, wonderful.
The streets have spoken as well.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. Carol, first of all, this fleece top full of
cats.
Pussy cats.
Yes.
How many cats are on there?
I don't know. I've never actually counted them.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of them. Again, you come up to the car. You've heard us talk about Dennis. You want to wish him a happy birthday, don't you?
Yes. Happy birthday, Dennis. It's nice to know you got this far.
And he means a lot to you, doesn't he?
Well, anybody that gets this age has got to mean a lot to everybody.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in the world to take you away these days.
Is he a legend or a chancer?
Oh, he's a legend. He's got to be, hasn't he?
He is, and I've been to see 50 Shades of Grey with him as well. I can assure you, he's a legend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ivan, good morning. You came straight up to the radio car, wanted to wish Dennis a very happy 90th birthday.
Yes, Dennis, I hope you have a good time. At 90, you've seen the world with that age, I thought.
I mean, he means a lot to you, doesn't he, Dennis?
Yeah, he does, yes. Yeah, so... good luck to him and keep going,
You've got your badge on here. You're a former police officer. I understand that Dennis, amongst police officers, is often spoken about. He's a big deal there, isn't he?
He is, as far as I'm aware, yes. So, that's all I can say at the moment. So I'm sorry I can't carry on. Okay?
That was a great police line. That's all I can say for the time being. Thank you, sir.
Take care.
There you go, Dennis. How you feeling?
Oh, over the world. Up, going up.
That's not a phrase, mate, over the world.
Yes. Well, I'm looking down at you.
What?
I'm looking down at all.
Are you getting in as many of these legal highs as you can before they outlaw them?
Naturally.
Good lad. Dennis, have a lovely day, mate.
Thank you very much.
If you make it to tomorrow, then that tenner will end up somewhere. But if you don't, you owe me cash.
I'll be there in the morning, don't worry.
Ta-ta, Dealey.
Yes.
What's on your show tomorrow, mate?
Between 12 and 2, quite simply, boss, 2 hours of fantastic music and fantastic memories. If you've not heard it before, tune in tomorrow. We had a really, really busy bank holiday programme. A lot of requests to come from that show on tomorrow's show. 2 hours of great music. What more do you want?
Thank you very much indeed. Always worth a listen. Cypriot Jim, yes, boss.
Kalimera.
Kalimera, Tikanis.
I
can't remember any more of the Greek. I've forgotten it all.
I'm just walking the dog. What a lovely day.
You're doing what? You're doing what?
I'm walking the dog.
Walking the dog. Okay. Oh, yes, beautiful. Yes. What have you got for us, Jim?
I wanted to say to you, skase in Greek. Shut up in Greek. Is that not good?
You cheeky. There's one word I want to say to you in Greek, but I'm not allowed to.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are long delays on the M1, northbound from junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 13 for Milton Keynes because of an accident that's closed it northbound. It's also really slow southbound because of people looking over to sea from junction 14 for Milton Keynes to 13 for Bedford. In Markyate on the A5, that's really slow in both directions because of the closure, and it's the diversion route. So all the way along the A5 it's looking very slow, particularly between Lynch Hill and Woburn Road. And Bedford Road in both directions is closed between the Highfield Crescent at Brogborough and the Beancroft Road at Marston Mortain. That's because of a separate lorry that's on fire. On the A413 Buckingham Road in Aylesbury, that's got the traffic lights not working at Weedon Road. That's causing some slight delays on the speed sensors. No reports of any problems though on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Oh, I'll speak to you in a minute, actually. I retract that comment about the weekend, and we'll do it again later. Or maybe not. See how we feel. Might have changed my mind by then. I might want her to have a terrible weekend. I just don't know, Kelly. I'm like a crazy man running around town naked. 8:47, it's Friday the 29th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. 3 people have died in a collision between a lorry and a car on the old A421, the Bedford Road, in the early hours of this morning. And David Cameron is visiting Warsaw and Berlin as he rounds off his 2-day tour of European capitals to argue the case for changes to the EU. Let's get the weather. It's Elizabeth!
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. We're going to see some heavy rain soon, probably over the next couple of hours or so. That's when it's going to start to push in from the west, and we'll see some heavy downpours just for a short time, I think, and some strong gusts of wind as that rain eventually clears its way eastwards. So by the time we get to the middle of the afternoon, it should be much drier again. We will perhaps see some showers around, but lots of dry spells and some spells of sunshine as well to end the day. Top temperatures today up to around 16 degrees, 61 in Fahrenheit. The winds will start to ease down through the afternoon too. Now, as we get into tonight, it's going to be dry. It'll feel quite chilly. The winds are going to lighten considerably. We could be looking at lows of around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius in some of the rural spots, so a bit cooler than it has been over the past couple of nights or so. And then tomorrow, a nice day, lots of sunshine around, particularly through the morning, starting to cloud over somewhat, turning the sunshine a bit hazier as we head into the afternoon, but highs of 16 or 17 degrees. All in all, the better day of the weekend, because we've got rain spreading in from the west as we head through Saturday night into Sunday morning. So wet and windy start to the day on Sunday, but again it should turn dry and brighter into the afternoon. Monday and Tuesday looking rather unsettled, but from Wednesday onwards it looks like we could see some fine and dry weather with climbing temperatures. That's the forecast.
Every weekday morning.
Coming up at 9 on the Big Phone In this morning, is it a good idea to make jobless teenagers work for their benefits? How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Are you surprised to see British people being blatantly racist?
The JVS Show.
I think we've got to get over this issue about racism doesn't exist. It has existed. It will probably carry on existing.
What I wanted to say is they've got this completely the wrong way around. You know, that is also true. That is also true.
You will always get some, but they are such a minority.
I think the man's a buffoon. Get him up, get him out of bed, give him a sense of purpose.
The JVS Show.
Do you think we have got to, as a country, start taking this issue more seriously?
Every weekday morning on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Kelly, spell square!
SCU. What? Oh my God!
Ah! Yep, that actually happened on the radio. Matt's on the line. Good morning, Matt.
Morning.
Sorry, Kelly.
I did it for entertainment reasons.
Oh, you did it.
Every time you play that, she looks around and panic.
Yeah,
like you're asking her again.
Matt, we've had our quota of old folk today. What do you want to bang on about?
It's my birthday.
So? So what?
I'm entitled to have my name mentioned on the radio.
No.
Matt.
No. Retract, Matt.
Retract. Okay.
Hang on a second. How old are you, Matt?
75.
Oh, that's nothing. You're a mere baby
I'm
compared.
off to Paris.
Are you?
Oh.
Yes, this morning.
Are you going to gay Paris?
I'm going to Paris, and I'm going to Hotel de Paris.
Oi! Who's the lucky lady, Matt? Or are you going to pick one up when you get there?
I will tell you when I come back.
Hey, Matty Boom Boom.
You're not staying in Pigalle, are you?
We will be on the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah.
And we will do.
Are you doing a French accent?
We will ring the bells of Notre Dame.
I don't think you will.
I don't think they let you do that. And the Eiffel Tower's...
They will.
The Eiffel Tower's full of pickpockets. You know that, don't you?
We'll keep an eye out for the pickpockets.
Have you got a bum bag?
I've got no.
Yeah, he has. He's
I'm
75.
very good with my money, so don't worry about that, Ian. I'm a bit like you, Ian, because you won't come up to the stars for a drink.
I'm terrified of that place. It sounds awful.
Very careful, yeah.
Although apparently they do good food. They do good food there, don't they?
Absolutely. Now, yeah.
How
brilliant.
long are you going to go to Paris for?
Till Monday.
Oh, mate.
Dirty weekend.
Sacre bleu.
Are you going to suck on what?
Sacre bleu.
Are you going on the train?
Yes, on the old Euro Star.
He's very French today, isn't he?
I'm very French today.
Are you going on your own, or is someone escorting you there?
I've got a friend with me today.
And what is her name?
I am not telling you.
Hey!
You're such a big mouth.
What?
I will not say nothing to you because you spread it around.
Hey! Hopefully you'll be spreading it around, Matt.
I hope so.
If everything goes to plan, you mucky
very
old
good,
devil.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I mean...
to what?
I sound like Sepp Blatter.
You sound like Sacha Distel. I don't think anyone can resist.
Still,
what time are you coming
raindrops
to get
are
me?
falling on my head.
Go on, Kelly, what?
What time are you coming to get me, Matt? I'm packed.
Kelly, we are going to have a great time. I can guarantee you that.
Well, Matt, listen, I am shocked. I'm speechless. Have a wonderful birthday. Have a wonderful time. Have a great bunk up. And fingers crossed, we'll speak to you on Monday, unless it kills you.
Okay, I'll be still here Monday, don't you worry.
Ta-ta, Matt. Have fun.
Au revoir.
He's going on a dirty weekend.
Get in there, my
I
son.
love how happy he sounds. He never sounds that happy.
Well, I knew there had to be a change. It's not just his birthday.
Oh, isn't that
Christmas
funny?
has come too.
Isn't that funny?
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's well done, Matt. Well, happy birthday, Dennis. Happy birthday, Matt. And he won't be going up the Eiffel Tower. He ain't going to leave that hotel room. Partly because he'll put his back out. Sue's in Aylesbury. Morning, Sue. I'm sorry you have to follow that filth. It's outrageous. Pensioners having it away. Or naughty.
That's fine.
What have you got for us, Sue?
I was just going to tell you that there's a fantastic charity in Aylesbury known as AHAG, Aylesbury Homeless Action Group. They work very closely with Aylesbury Vale District Council and all of the associated agencies. I thought of it with the story you were running about the
pregnant young lady, yes.
Yep.
There's a couple and she's pregnant and the house they're in, they're not allowed to stick around and so they're going to get booted out next week. It's all rather unpleasant. And we wish them...
She should get herself down to Aylesbury Vale District Council.
So just this charity you mentioned, Sue, how would they be able to help? What kind of practical advice can they offer to someone who is in a pretty desperate situation, let's not forget?
Well, I'm just a volunteer. I don't know all the ins and outs, but they have got trained caseworkers that work on all of the problems that have caused a person to be homeless. They are a really fantastic charity. As I say, they normally work with referrals from Aylesbury Vale District Council. They can be contacted. There's a phone number, 01296 435 026, or just rock up at their offices and ring the bell. That's at 2 Rickfords Hill.
So listen, I really appreciate you mentioning that. It's a desperate situation for that poor couple, soon to be trio. And let's hope it all gets sorted out one way or t'other. Boyles.
Yes, do you want a text? This is from Katie in Luton.
Morning, Katie in Luton.
I'm incensed by the situation that blame and responsibility lies with the woman that gets pregnant. There's no mention of a father who seems to be free to opt out without criticism. I work in abortion care, so I have more experience than most of women making really difficult decisions. Thanks very much for that one, Katie. We've also got one here from another Matt saying, who's the French bloke?
That
was Mathieu.
Oh, dear. Naughty.
Janet, who doesn't often write things approving of
Janet
you.
hates the show, listens to the show every day, hates it, and texts us every day with her hatred.
I'm shockled to find that for the first time... She's shockled.
Shocked and... Cuckolded.
Shockled to find that for the first time I'm in agreement with Mr. Lee.
Get in there.
She always calls you Mr.
Yeah, well...
Although what comes next isn't always the most polite.
No, it doesn't matter. Respect.
Why do these so-called experts come on so unprepared to plead their case and expect us to do the hard work? Janet.
Oh, right. So I've won the argument with Scott. We've been arguing during the show about this, how, of course, I've been saying, of course it's cheaper. Because if you go to a private company, Scott said, I'm going to go get a private company to make my dinner for me tonight and bring it round my house, save myself a fortune. Then he uses a very rude sexual swear word. And the thing is, right, so it's not just one hospital ordering from a private company. It will be, let's say, 5 hospitals ordering from a private company. This is how they save the money. It's basic maths, guys. So... it's 5 hospitals ordering from a private company. And if we say that each hospital is ordering, let's be 1,000 meals each, that's then 5,000 meals. That's how they can afford to do it cheap, guys. It's basic maths. His next tweet is, you naive crumb.
Hang on a minute. You know the government's paying
You like that one, Kels?
You know the government's paying for school dinners these days?
Yes, mate.
How many schools have actually got kitchens anymore? A lot of them get people to bring in these chilled meals, and they wouldn't do that if it was more expensive.
Chillax. Here's something for you, Catherine.
Oh.
India's PM, Narendra Modi, is to perform yoga publicly in New Delhi to boost its popularity.
Excellent. Because yoga's not very popular, is it?
You're going to start doing yoga soon
Monday.
with Brendan upstairs.
Yeah. I'm excited. I've got the lycra.
Why are you going to do it? I've done yoga, and all it is a room full of middle-aged women blowing off.
Well, I'm a middle-aged woman and need...
I haven't got a stomachache. But it's yoga's...
I need a little bit of headspace, and I think that would be an excellent combination of both the zen...
No, it's not. The whole thing about... Because I did yoga for a bit, and the whole thing about yoga being good for centering yourself and meditation, it's not. It's really, really hard work.
Who's the most chilled person in the office? Brendan. Brendan's a yoga master.
Hang on, he's not the most chilled person in the office.
He is.
Have you ever spoken to Shags? And Shags is just like a bloke with long hair and a beard.
OK, let me rephrase then. Who's the most buff, zen person in the office?
Tony Fisher.
No, come on.
I know, that was a joke. Obs. But I've done the yoga. It's really hard work.
I think I can take it.
I don't think... When's your first lesson?
Monday. We'll talk about it on Tuesday.
All right, fine, we will do, mate. And you will be stiff all over.
I think you'll.
Why is that a bad thing?
That's it. That's your lot. Thank goodness. Great to have you back, Kels.
What?
You see what I'm dealing with here, guys? Let's try that again. Great to have you back, Kels.
Thanks.
There we go. Thanks very much indeed. Let's get the Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 is still closed northbound between junction 13 for Bedford and 14 for Milton Keynes after an accident, and that's causing delays all the way from junction 12 for Flitwick, and it's really slow southbound through that stretch from junction 14 for Milton Keynes to 13 for Bedford because of people looking over at the accident. In Little Brickhill on the A5 northbound, that's got queues around the McDonald's roundabout with people avoiding the M1. It's also slow all the way down the M5, and the A505 Luton Road in Dunstable is really slow as well between Buscombe Road and the A5 High Street North. Lots of drivers trying to get past that of the closure of the M1. In Brogborough on the Bedford Road nearby, that's still closed between Beancroft Road and Highfield Crescent in both directions after an accident in the night. And in Aylesbury on Buckingham Road, the traffic lights aren't working at Weedham Road. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now have a nice weekend, Samantha.
Thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. Ta-ta. That's it. That's your lot, guys. Don't forget, a new podcast will be up soon. Thanks, Kels, for putting it together. We've recorded some nice extra bits as well that won't have been out on the radio. You'll get that on iTunes a little bit later on, or the BBC Three Counties website. Until Monday at 6 from us, ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Friday. It's 9 o'clock, and on today's big phone-in, do you sympathise with women who get pregnant but can't afford housing? 180,000 listeners have now been online to read the story of a Milton Keynes mum with 3 children who was unhappy with the home she'd been given for free by the council. Well, today we've heard the story of Aylesbury mum, Bianca Stacey, who lives with her partner in a shared house with 8 other people. She's discovered she's pregnant, and since the landlord won't allow babies, she and her partner are now struggling to find a place to live. Well, both stories centre around local women who've started families despite not being able to stand on their own 2 feet financially. Well, I want to hear your reaction to this. Do you sympathise with women who get pregnant but can't afford housing? Pick up the phone, come on and have your say. Here's my telephone number. It's 08459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first, let's get the latest BBC News. It's 9:01. Here's Barry Caffrey.
Good morning. 3 people have died in a collision between a lorry and a car in Bedfordshire in the early hours of this morning. The lorry caught fire after the impact, which happened on the old A421 road. More details from Carol Abercrombie.
Police were called just before 10 past midnight, where 3 people were pronounced dead at the scene. 2 others have been taken to hospital. The road's closed between Brogborough and Marston Mortain, and police say it's likely to remain closed for several hours.
A pregnant woman from Aylesbury fears she could be forced to sleep on friends' sofas and floors if she's made homeless next week. Bianca is due to give birth in 8 weeks' time, but has been served notice to leave the private rented house that she shares with 8 other people and her boyfriend. The landlord doesn't allow children in the house, so they have to move out on Tuesday. Scott Dawes is from Shelter.
It's increasingly common, not least because private renting has gone through the roof in recent decades. There are now sort of 11 million renters, and the number of families in many areas renting has doubled in the last 10 years.